There are 3 easy steps in creating your resume link. Let me show you how.
Step 1. Register. Go to www.jobs180.com using any browser and click Register Now. Fill out all the information needed. In choosing your resume link, use your full name so that it looks professional and it's easy to recall by potential employers. For example, AntonioJuan.delacruz.jobs180.com. Step 2. Create and design. When creating your resume, make sure to complete your personal information and upload your profile picture. One of the highlights of the resume link is the portfolio section. In the portfolio section, you can show off your skills by uploading samples of your work like documents, pictures, videos, and your social media links.
Your resume link also features different themes and you can upload a cover photo. This is a combination of a cover letter and a social network cover photo. Here is an example. You can also download a copy of your resume link and print it. Step 3. Apply for a job. There are many ways to apply with your resume link.
First is browsing the job recommendations in your Jobs 180 dashboard.
If you're qualified, click Submit Resume Link. So what are you waiting for? Dress up your next generation resume, stand out brightly among the competitive job seekers in the market, and win the heart of your future employers using Resume Link.
Change. It happens when you least expect it, but also when you embrace it. At Accenture, we help the world's biggest brands thrive through change. Our people combine technology and creativity, expertise and experience, learning and collaboration, passion and purpose to make a difference for our clients, their customers, our company, and our communities. Behind every great change is a great human. Bring your skills, your curiosity, and your true self to your work every day. Let's do incredible things. Let's deliver on the promise of technology and human ingenuity.
Good morning, people. So, welcome to Marketing Me Live. This is a pre-employment webinar in coordination with St. Dominic College of Asia. So, today we'll be joined by speakers from Inspiro, VXI, and Makati Medical Center. So, before we start, we invite everyone for the prayer and national anthem.
Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise Him, all creatures
mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Thank you for that. So, welcome to all our viewers for today. So, to officially start our session for this morning, would like to call Dr. Carolina P. Danao, Vice President for Academic Affairs for St. Dominic College of Asia.
All the graduating students here present, I really welcome you to a very important forum that St. To all the graduating students here present, I really welcome you to a very important forum that St. Dominic College of Asia dedicates to graduating students. You are all coming from different programs. You have been trained and taught the competencies and skills that you have to have in order to succeed in your respective positions. However, I could be sharing with you a few bits of information that might help you along the way. Your skills are important. Your teachers took 4 years to teach you well. And if you indeed learn what you must learn, you can deliver it to the target population, be they here or abroad, be they in the hospital, different business establishments, anywhere in the Philippines or abroad, wherever you will be, to exercise your profession or work so that you earn your daily income. You have to remember 2 things. Before you can give your best, you have to know your best. In what ways are you good? What are your strong points? And what are your weaknesses? Remember, nobody is perfect. We all have rooms to grow. It will serve you a lot to know what are your strengths, what are the weaknesses that you can still improve on, what are those opportunities that are waiting for you to discover them, and what are those threats that come in the way if you insist on perpetuating your negative traits. All of us have them. We all have strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities to overcome whatever impending disaster will happen if we are prepared. This forum is for you to prepare yourselves mentally, emotionally, physically. You have to have good health. You have to have good physical health, mental health, emotional health. And your social quotient must be as high as your IQ. Why? Because if you are so sensitive at the workplace, you earn nothing but tears. Hindi pa pwedeng iiyak lang natin, tapos na. Hindi. Problems will persist unless you do something about those faults which you must first accept in the first place. Pag hindi mo tinanggap na meron ka palang mali na kailangan ayusin, magtatagal yung mali hanggang they become your habits. At napakatagal, mahirap alisin yung habits. If there are habits to be formed, they are habits that relate to your competencies to develop them further at work and your attitude towards people. That makes the difference whether you will be accepted or rejected wherever you go. Pag napansin nyo naman, nakokonti ang friends ninyo dahil bihira kayong ngumiti, masyado kayong marunong mag-advise, nagmamadaling magbigay ng unsolicited comments, lalo kayong magkakaproblema, dadami pa yung problema. Two things to remember. Know yourselves. Alamin mo kung anong meron kang katangian, kapintasan na kailangang ayusin. And two, respect other people. The people at the workplace will mirror how you treat them. Love begets love. Hatred begets hatred as well. Pag mabait ka sa kanila, ang tao, mabait din sa'yo. Pag nakakita ka ng evidences na they are mean to you, ask yourselves, am I being mean to them? Meanness comes occasionally, especially pag hindi ka masyadong reflective person. Andar ka ng andar without thinking. Stop. Think of the day's work. What happened within the day? How many friends did you make? How many people get mad because of your bad attitude? Have you accepted you have bad attitude? O ikaw nang pinakamagaling? Kahit sa bahay, kahit sa workplace, bida ka. Walang ganyan. Especially if you are starting, please know yourself and be ready to respect others. Kahit saan kayong mapunta, kahit saan kayong planeta ma-employed, ganun pa din. Your capital, your best asset is yourself. Make the best out of the strengths that you have. Turn away from those shortcomings, those weaknesses that make you weak. And focus on the work to do that will be done with other people. Hindi ka pwedeng magtrabaho mag-isa. Hindi para sa'yo lang yung ginagawa mo. Many more people will benefit from the work that you do. And you cannot do it alone. Again, know who you are. Those are your investments. Your capital investment starts with your good, positive self. Give it to them. Give it to the people you will work with at the workplace. Be ready to be criticized and be ready to smile at those who will hurt you at times, especially when you are feeling weak, Kung kailan ka pa malungkot at saka ka pa makakasagupa ng mga taong magbibigay ng comments. So insensitive. But wait, why did you receive such a comment? Again, go back. What did you do? What did you say? What do you think of them? Akala mo hindi nare-reveal ng actions mo yung iniisip mo sa iyong kapwa? You do. Consciously or unconsciously, they will see if you are really sincere in making friends with them, in working with them, or you are only interested in your benefits, whatever the company and other people can do for you. Don't think of yourself as the only star in the universe. You have to think of others so that others will think of you in return. It is so simple, guys. Very simple. The secret to be happy is to know who you are, what you can give to others, and to make sure that you will show others that you love them, you love to work with them, and you respect them. Above all, have faith in God that all those things that people want to see in you, they will see because you work with God in mind. You don't work with your own strength alone. Together with God, you can do so much. Together with people who trust you, who feel good because you are around, because you show them love and respect as well, you get what you want. You will be a success only when the people around you feel successful with you around. Hindi pwedeng gawin ang mundong ito para sa iyo lang. You work with God, you work with others, so that this world becomes a better place to live in. Good afternoon, everyone. Enjoy the work that you will meet out there. They are waiting for someone who is respectful, considerate, and in love with the work that they chose. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Dr. Danao. So to our audience, we'd like to know where you're from. So please comment your name and course na lang in our comment section. So at least we get the feel of who our audience is for today. So here's our schedule for this morning. We will be doing online applications using the resume link. Top skills employers look for to be presented by Inspiro. Productivity in the time of pandemic to be discussed by VXI, and new age career possibilities, content creation, social media, vlogging, streaming, and online businesses to be discussed by Makati Medical Center. So, good morning to everyone. So, thank you for joining us for this event. And here we'd like to introduce our first speaker. So, our first speaker for this morning is Sir Kim Chua. He is the managing director for jobserenity.com. He has 20 years of experience in sales, marketing, business development, customer service, operations, business process, and human resources. He is a trusted resource speaker and he has done over 1,000 career development seminars in more than 400 plus colleges and universities nationwide. So to our audience, there will be an evaluation at the end of the event. So if your classmates or your friends are not here yet, please tag them and share this video with them so they don't miss out anything. And then if you have questions for Sir Kim, lagay nyo lang sa comment section and we will ask it after his presentation. Okay. So Sir Kim, you know the drill. The floor is yours.
Everyone, allow me to share to you how to make a job-winning resume. Yan. A lot of you are now looking for a job and exploring for the next chapter in your life. I hope that this session will be able to help you. Not only you, but the people that you know that needs help in terms of how to make a job-winning resume. Yan. So yan na tinatawag nating resume link. A lot of platforms right now, mga online platforms are being offered left and right. But for you to know paano to magiging job-winning tool or job-winning resume to, meron akong checklist. So go with me, no, with all these checklists. Your checklist should include the following. Number 1, kailangan mag-stand out ka. When you look for a job, you have to be able to stand out. Because if you're not going to be able to stand out, then I think you'll just be part of the crowd. You'll be one of the next applicant na wala lang, na hindi mapapansin. Another thing that should be in your checklist is that you should only have one file. Hindi dapat maraming files na iba-iba sinesend sa mga companies. Mas maganda, isang file lang para pag sinend mo, lahat ng details mo nandoon na. Another thing in your checklist is that it should make the process more efficient. Ibig sabihin, mas mabilis mag-submit, mas mabilis makita ng HR, at mas mabilis kayo makontak for possible next steps na or possible job offer na. Now, another thing in my checklist is that dapat tipid ito, wala itong gastos. The tool that I will show you today, wala itong gastos. Libre po ito. At higit sa lahat, itong pinaka-importante sa lahat, this should be in your checklist. The tool should be secured. Okay, more than anything, importante talaga ang data. Pero ang data ninyo, dapat yung protectionan. And using this tool, this is the most secured resume kung tawagin. Bakit siya tinawag na most secured resume? Let me go through the next slides na. Okay? Ito ang tinatawag na resume link. Okay? A personalized URL for anyone can open online anytime. I will use an example para makarelate kayo. If you are John Santos, ang link mo or resume link mo pwede maging johnsantos.jobs180.com. Ganun lang kasimple. At yan na po ang resume link nyo. So how do you make one? Go with me through the 3 simple steps. First step is you have to register. Absolutely wala tong bayad. Libre po ito. How do you register? You go to the website of jobs180.com. That's www.jobs180.com at dun ka mag-register on the upper right side of your screen. Now, as you do that, you have to put the basic information. Okay? So, alam nyo na ano mga information yan. Hindi ko na isa-isahin. Babawasan nyo naman at alam nyo naman ano dapat ilagay. Now, as you create your account, you have to use a valid email. Okay? Now, before we go to the email, paalala ko lang, sa mga nag-isip sa inyo, paano kung hindi ako si John Santos, ano gagawin kong resume link? O yan, baka nag-isip kayo eh. So, if ever lang, mayroon kang kapangalan. Okay, just so happen na may ibang John Santos na nauna sa inyo, ano mangyayari? Magkakaroon doon na red na box, sasabihin niya, this name has already been taken. Huwag kayong malungkot. Pag taken na, okay lang, just be creative. Pwede mo gawin, baliktarin mo. Gawin mo santosjohn.jobs180.com o kaya J Santos o kaya Santos J o kaya JS o kaya SJ. Depende kung ano gusto mo gawin. Basta importante, wala kang kapangalan. Okay, wala kang kapareho. Now, when you do this, huwag kayong OA. Do not create yung mga ganong klaseng over-creative na mga resume link because it doesn't look professional. Imagine submitting to a company with your resume link that says eljablo.jobs180.com. Hindi yan mukhang professional. Okay? Now, when you register, please use a valid email. Ito yung emphasis ko lang sa pag-create nyo ng account na dapat gamitin yung email, yung nabubuksan yung email, kagaya ng Gmail, Yahoo, or any email na nabubuksan nyo. Do not create, example lang yung mga email na kagaya ng ganito, patricia@facebook.com na email. Huwag kang gagamit ng joseph@facebook.com na email to register. In short, huwag mong gagamitin yung @facebook.com na email. Because if you use @facebook.com na email, you will no longer be able to receive notification being sent to you by the companies as well as jobs180.com. Importante po na nabubuksan nyo yung email nyo kasi kailangan mo i-verify yung account mo. Okay? It is very important that you verify your account as a proof na ikaw nag-register at pangalawa, para ikaw ay makapag-apply. If you don't do this, if you don't verify, walang mangyayari sa account nyo. Okay? So, sayang lang. So, you have to verify to finish the first step. Okay? How do you verify? Just open your email, look for the link, click mo yung verify, you're done with the first step. Okay? Tapos na yung first step. Ano yung first step? Register. Wala tong bayad. Let's go to the second step. Ang second step, ang pinaka-logical sa lahat. Kailangan kumpleto ang detalye nyo. So how do you do that? You go back again to your account by going to the website of jobs180.com. This time, hindi mo kailangan mag-register. Ang gagawin mo, mag-login. Pag login mo, lagay mo dito yung email nyo or resume link nyo, kayo lang may alam yan, at lalo na yung password nyo na kayo lang talaga may alam yan. So when you do that, you now go inside your account. Pag nasa loob na kina-account nyo, ano gagawin nyo? Mabilis na lang ito. Fill in the blanks. Okay? Now, I don't have to go through all the information here because definitely, alam mo naman pag sinabi ditong name, malamang pangalan nyo. Pag nakalagay dito address, malamang address nyo. Diba? So, you put all the information ninyo dito. Okay? Lagay nyo. Then, what else do you put in here? Importante po lagay dito lahat ng posibleng paraan na pwede ka makontak ng isang HR, kagaya ng social media account nyo. 'Di ba? Hindi lang email tsaka phone number. Bakit? Most of the time, ano nangyayari? Okay, let me tell you. Marami sa inyo nilalagay nyo phone number nyo. Pero pag tinatawagan kayo ng HR, hindi nyo sinasagot, lalo na pag hindi mo kilala. Hala, sino kaya ito? Hindi mo sasagutin. 'Di ba? Kasi takot kayo baka nagsa-scam or whoever yung tumatawag. So ano mangyayari sa mga HR? Mag-i-email kami ngayon sa inyo. But you don't open email more often than you open your social media account. So I recommend lahat ng posibleng paraan na pwede ka makontak na isang HR, ilagay mo dito. Kagaya ng mga Facebook nyo or Twitter nyo para mabilis tayo makapag-PM, private message, makapag-invite for the next step. Okay? What else do you put here? You also put here your work options, yung mga work experience nyo. Pagdating po sa work options, you can see on the screen, you have 4 options na pwede nyo pagpilian. Parang switch lang yan. Yes, no, switch, on, off, switch. So you can choose here, example, looking for OJT, lagay mo yes, if you're looking for OJT right now. And later on, pag hindi na, turn it off. Ilagay mo na no. Diba? So depende yan kung anong mas trip nyo or ano mas pasok dun sa hinahanap nyo right now. What the system will do is it will try to match you with companies who are also looking for the same profile with what you have. Yan yung kagandahan ng tool natin. Hindi mo kailangan mag door-to-door para mag-submit ng resume link ninyo. Okay? What else do you put here? You put here your school under education. Even later on, okay, pagka-graduate nyo, you can also put here your schools. Yung mga nag-take pa kayo ng further studies, pwede mo rin ilagay dito. Okay, so walang limit sa space yan. Pagdating pa sa seminars attended, ganun din. Kahit gano'ng karami, pwede nyo ilagay dito. Kahit magkopyahan pa kayo. Just make sure lang alam mo yung seminar na yon. Kaya baka matanong ka sa interview. Pagdating po sa certification, ganun din. Put all the certification programs that you've had, you put it here. Okay? When it comes to the achievement, do not limit your achievement only inside the school. Hindi lahat na nakikinig ngayon ay Dean's Lister. Hindi kayo lahat dito ay honor student. Diba? Ayan, nag-agree marami sa inyo. So, hindi lang po ang achievement nakabase sa academic excellence. Some of you are student leaders. So, if you're active sa school, you also put it here kung ano yung mga pinagkakabalahan nyo. And hindi lang sa loob ng school, even outside the school. If you're active in your barangay, halimbawa, isa kang tanod, ilagay mo dyan. Diba? Yan yung mga achievement ninyo. So, you put it here. Bakit? Because what you're doing now is you're trying to market yourself more effectively to that prospective company. Okay? Now, when it comes to the skills and languages, ito yung common observation namin mga HR. Pagdating sa skills, nilalagay mo lang na skills yung mga umiikot lang sa course nyo. Hindi porkat communication arts ang course mo, com arts lang ang skills na alam mo. Hindi porkat engineering ang course mo, ang alam mo lang na skill ay pang-engineering. Hindi porkat tourism or HRM ang course mo, ang alam mo lang na skill ay pang-tourism at pang-HRM. Maybe some of you are into multimedia, into photography, into videography, into something else, arts, crafts, whatever. Lahat ng yan, skills nyo yan. Remember, what you're doing here is you're marketing yourself more effectively. Kaya kung ako sa inyo, ilagay mo dito lahat ng skills na alam ninyo. Pagdating po sa languages, ganun din. Huwag mong ilimit yan sa 2 lengguwahe lang. Because I'm sure alam nyo na yung 2. Kung 2 lang talaga alam nyo, din 2 lang. Ano tong 2 to? English and Tagalog or Filipino. Okay? Now, if you know other local dialect, Bisaya, Kapampangan, Sabacano, Ilonggo, you can also put it here. If you know foreign languages, German, French, Chinese, Japanese, diba, Korean, pwede mo ilagay dyan. Okay? Walang limit sa space yan. When it comes to the references, sigurado ko yung mga references nyo, kilala nyo. Ang malaking tanong dito kayo ba'y kilala nila? Sana oo, di ba? Kasi madalas pag tumatawag kami sa mga references nyo, hindi kayo maalala. So please tell them, ginawa nyo silang reference para at least they know what to tell about you. Okay? Now at this point, to make your life easier, kung sakali lang nakagawa ka na ng resume nyo in your Word file or maybe in your doc file, depende kung anong file nyo, PDF file, whatever file you have. Kung nakagawa ka na ng resume nyo, simple na lang. Just copy all the information inside dito. No, ilagay mo sa loob ng resume link. Just transfer them here inside the resume link para maging secured yung data nyo. Okay? Kung bakit secured, I'll tell you as we go along. Okay? So yung mga sinabi ko, I think alam nyo na yan. Alam nyo na yan. Okay? Itong mga susunod kong papakita, ito yung mga amazing na portion. Let me start with the portfolio section. Ano yung portfolio section? This is the part where you now upload evidence of your skills. Example, ano ebidensya na graduate na kayo later on? Diploma, di ba? Transcript. Ano pa? Toga, hindi ebidensya yung toga. Okay? Kung ano man meron nyo, di ba? Certificate, diploma, yan, ebidensya yan. Okay? Kung transcript of records is evidence na graduate na kayo. Ano ebidensya na wala kayong criminal record? NBI clearance, police clearance, di ba? Ano ebidensya na pwede ka pumunta sa ibang bansa? passport, visa, lahat ng mga sinasabi mong mga skills mo or yung mga what you're claiming that you know, you can now support them here sa portfolio section by showing those documents. Diba? Anong ebidensya na ikaw ay healthy? Meron kang medical clearance. Anong ebidensya na pwede ka mag-drive ng sasakyan? Meron kang driver's license. Diba? So gets nyo na yung sinasabi ko. Ang point ko lang is you can now put the things here to support yung claim nyo of your skills. Now, you're starting to think, Sir, kung pare-pareho naman kaming graduate sa school namin, pare-pareho kami magkakaklase, same yung course namin, same yung school, same yung teachers, same yung curriculum, pare-pareho lang naman kami lahat, walang experience sa trabaho, how will we stand out? Ayan, di ba? Okay, ito ngayon yung isang magandang recommendation ko sa inyo on how you now stand out. You get your smartphones. Kunin mo yung mga smartphones nyo. Kung wala, manghiram sa kaibigan. Okay, hiram mo sa kaibigan mo. I-record mo yung selfie video mo. You say something interesting about yourself. Record it in about 30 seconds to 1 minute lang. Huwag na masyadong mahaba. Ano gagawin mo? Pretend that you are being interviewed by the HR. So you answer basic questions like, tell me something about yourself. O, di ba? Ano yung mga gasgas sa tanong natin? Why should we hire you? O, di ba? Just imagine na tinanong ka ng HR at sasagutin mo na lang siya. Ang maganda lang ngayon, recorded mo. So, kung di mo type yung sagot, edi delete mo. Pag type mo, you save it. Then you upload it sa YouTube or sa Vimeo. Maraming mga video channel na libre, yung mga video converter sa online. Hanapin mo lang. And when you're done, you put that video link doon sa portfolio section nyo. O, di ba? This time, it will definitely make you stand out because depende na to sa diskarte mo on how you're going to present yourself. Okay? So I leave it up to you on how you do that. Now, another thing for you to do, na sure akong hindi to makokopya ng classmate mo, ay yung picture mo. Diba? So you put your profile picture here. Now, when it comes to the picture, hindi kailangan sobrang formal na formal. Hindi kailangan pumunta sa studio. Huwag na kayo gumastos. Ang importante dito, tumingin kayo sa camera. Plain background. Okay? Plain background, tumingin kayo sa camera. Wear something, of course. Wear something decent. Okay? Do not upload profile pictures that look like the right side of your screen. Yung mga sample na yan, hindi po maganda example yan. Okay? So, huwag kayo maglagay ng ganun kasi mga sample na profile picture. Now, another good thing pa that will make you stand out using the resume link is your cover photo. Yes! A picture paints 1,000 words. Yan ang kasabihan na very, very applicable dito. A lot of you who are listening today, hindi kayo gifted with writing skills. Hirap kayo i-express ang inyong feelings at inyong thoughts into words. Hindi mo ma-type, hindi mo ma-sulat. Tama? Hirap tayo eh. Bakit? Hindi natural sa atin yan. Pero pagdating sa picture, kaya mo i-express yung inyong personality. Look at the examples I'm showing you. Look at the one on the left. Ano siya? Isa siyang ophthalmologist or optometrist. Sabi naman ng iba, eye expert. Di ba? Ina sa kanan, ano siya? Sabi ng iba, sir, parang IT. Sir, techie siguro kasi maraming gadget, pati stapler, gadget niya. Diba? Halimbawa, o sabi ng iba naman, sir, parang makalat. O depende na kung how you are going to interpret it. But now, the way I see it, itong taong to, multitasker. Okay? Another good example I'm showing you is this one. Someone from psychology, someone from neurologist, or maybe someone who knows left and right. Ganun lang kasimple. No? So, depende yan how you're going to express yourself. Okay? Another good example pa, ito. Itong person na to, ang gusto niya sabihin, there's no shortcut to success. You will be able to reach your goal by taking one step at a time. O, di ba? So, I'm showing you good examples. Hindi yan member na akit bahay gang. Hindi rin po yan social climber, in case that's what you're thinking. So, kung nagpakita ko ng magaganda example, I will also show you yung mga hindi magandang example para wag niyong gagayahin. Huwag kayong magpapaka-misteryoso. Okay? Make sure you put your picture there. Okay? Kasi maraming pangalan ngayon interchangeable. Ako mismo, guilty ako dyan. My name is Kim. A lot of people think babae ako. Ako rin mismo, napagkakamala ko yung mga aplikante, pinakita ko, Chris, George, Alex, Sam. O, diba? Minsan isipin ko, Joey, lalaki. Yung pala, babae. Diba? So you better put your picture there para at least alam ng HR who to expect. Okay? Now, when you make your resume link, dapat may laman talaga yan. Kasi kung walang laman yan, ganyan itsura niyan, blanco. And how do you expect companies will look, or HR from companies will look at your profile if you submit to them resume links that look like this? It's like submitting a piece of a paper, bond paper, or long bond paper, short bond paper na walang laman except pangalan mo. And that's the same as this one. So hindi yan papansinin ng mga HR for sure. Okay? Sayang lang oras nyo tsaka oras ng HR. Kailangan attractive. Okay? When I say attractive or catchy, do not overdo it naman. Now, this is just in my opinion. In my opinion, I think this one is not a good example. Kasi ang dating niya parang tamad, parang happy-go-lucky, parang chill-chill lang, no? Parang gano'n na dating. So, I leave it up to you on how you be, expressing yourself na dito. Okay? So sa mga personality nyo. Alam niyo na anong dapat nyo gawin at hindi nyo dapat gawin. So, showing a very good example is si iExpert. Tignan mo, lahat ng detalye niya, kompleto. Everything from top to bottom, kompleto lahat ng details, including yung kanyang mga portfolio section na nagpapatunay na siya ay isang licensed ophthalmologist. Pinakita niya lahat ng mga posibleng hingiin pa sa kanya ng mga HR. So bakit ko sinabi sa inyo na napapabilis yung buhay dito? Hindi lang buhay nyo. Pati buhay din ng HR napapabilis. Because once you submit all this information to that company, when the HR opens your resume link and sees everything about you, dalawa lang ang pwedeng mangyari niyan. One is, nahuli mo atensyon, gusto kanya ngayon kasapin or schedule for the next step, like interview or possibly job offer, or hindi ka nag-fit. Yun yung second, di ba? Para at least, ang maganda rito, hindi na pabalik-balik, hindi na siya tatawag para sabihin, hello ma'am, meron ka bang evidence na graduate ka na talaga sa school na yan? Can you send me your transcript? Di ba? Can you send me yung mga evidence or yung mga sample skills or sample work mo kasi you are in IT or in graphic design, di ba? Gets mo ibig ko sabihin, wag nang pabalik-balik, sayang yung oras. Okay? Time is of the essence, lalo na ngayon. So you put everything there, at least pag nakita ng HR, diretso na kagad sa pagprocess sa inyo. Okay? A lot of you are now thinking, Sir, pag gumawa ako ng resume link at nilagay ko lahat ng information ko dyan, baka naman yung mga data ko nakakalat na sa buong mundo. Baka naman yung mga information ko nakalantad na sa buong internet. The answer is, no. Kaya nga siya tinawag na the most secured resume. Okay? Bakit siya tinawag na most secured resume? Because you have the ultimate control over your privacy settings. Follow the screen. Inside your dashboard, when you log in, you can go to your settings. Sa settings mo, to be specific, puntahan mo yung privacy settings. In your privacy settings, you choose the information that you want to show in public. Halimbawa lang you do not want to show your birthday. What do? Turn it off. Ayaw mo pakita yung address mo. What do? Turn it off. Ayaw mo pakita ang inyong references. What do? Turn it off. So lahat na naka-off, hindi lalabas sa public. At sino may control niyan? Kayo lang. O, di ba? Ang maganda pa rito, real-time update yan. Halimbawa, today, you decide not to show your birthday, your address, and references. And then 5 minutes later, you decide, sige, pakita ko na nga birthday ko. Turn it on. Real-time. 5 minutes later, the moment you save your settings, lahat ng binigyan mo ng resume link, updated na rin sila real-time. As in real time. Di ba? Ayos, di ba? Sige, tuloy natin. Tuloy pa natin to. So, reminders ko na lang sa mga late na dumating or kakakinig lang, when you make your resume link, make sure that your profile is interesting and attractive. Okay? Wag OA. Iba yung over naman yun. No? Wag naman ganun. So, make sure it's attractive, it's catchy. Complete all the information, especially your contact details. Kasi sayang naman lahat ng ginawa mo, nahuli mo atensyon, hindi ka makontak ng HR. So better make sure nandiyan yung mga contact details na updated. Okay? So yan. So tapos na tayo sa 2 steps. Last step na lang. Ano yung first step? Recap lang. First step is register. Wala tong bayad. Libre po yan. Second step is for you to complete the information. Yan ang pinaka-logical. And the last step now is for you to submit. So you're now thinking, okay to paano ko gagamitin ngayon yung resume link? Bigyan kita ng iba-ibang paraan. Okay, lahat ito practical application para makarelate kayo. Unang option, pumunta ka sa website ng jobs180.com. That's www.jobs180.com and that's where you now start to look for companies. Type the companies that you're looking for. Pag may lumabas, edi good. Pag walang lumabas, edi wala. Okay, wag din pilitin. Okay? Now, you can also see there a lot of companies, a lot of company logos that you can shop around, you can choose, learn about the company, and if you want to be part of the company, I recommend you submit your resume link kahit na hindi ka pa qualified. Let me repeat what I just said. If you want to be part of an organization, if you want to be part of that company, even if you are not yet qualified, I recommend you give your resume link to that company. Bakit? Imagine, kung ngayong hapon, ngayong araw, nag-submit ka ng resume link sa isang kumpanya na naghahanap ng 3 years experience na aplikante. Wala ka pang 3 years experience. Okay lang. Because nabigay mo na yung resume link mo sa kanya, pagdating ng 2024, siguro naman by that time, meron ka ng 3 years experience, di ba? Kasi nag-work ka na ngayon, by 2021. By 2024, may 3 years experience ka na, pwede ka na ma-qualify dun sa position in-applyan mo. And you never know. That company might just contact you later on, provided that your details are still updated. So you have to update those information real time. Ayos ba? Ayos, di ba? Wala nang pabalik-balik, hindi mo na kailangan magbalik-balik dun sa kumpanya para sabihin, nag-apply po ko sa inyo last year, ako po yung OJT nyo 3 months ago. Wala nang ganun. Okay? Another practical application. When you submit your resumes through email, how do you do that? Madalas, ito ginagawa natin. Mag-email tayo, sasabihin natin, Dear HR Manager, I would like to apply for the following position and this is my resume. Ano gagawin nyo? I-attach mo yung Word file mo or PDF file mo. Tama? If that is how you're doing it, wag mo nang gawin yon. Wag ka na mag-attach ng anything sa email. Pampabagal lang yan, tsaka makaluma na yung style na yan. Bakit ko sinabi yon? Kasi hindi mo na kailangan talaga mag-attach ng anything. Ang gagawin mo, i-type mo na lang doon sa email mo yung resume link mo. Example, Dear HR Manager, I would like to apply for the following position. And this is my resume. In this example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz, 01.jobs180.com. That's it. Submit. I look forward to your information soon. Thank you. Send. Every time meron kang babaguhin sa details mo, hindi mo na kailangan padalhan yung HR. Kasi kung ginagamit mo mga attachment, ang kulit niyan eh. Ang kulit, saka nakapagod. Ano gagawin mo pag nagbago ka ng phone number? Dear HR Manager, this is now my updated resume. Mamaya-maya, 2 weeks later, nagpalit ka ng phone number. Ano gagawin mo? Dear HR Manager, this is now my updated, most recent resume. O di ba? Every time meron kang babaguhin, padala ka na padala doon sa HR. Nakakapagod yan, hindi lang sa part nyo, kundi sa part din namin sa mga HR to keep track which one yung pinaka-updated na details. So this time, wala na kailangan. Palit-palit na lang kayo ng details nyo, update-update na lang sa loob ng resume link. Ayos ba? Ayos pa. Okay, tuloy pa natin to. Okay? If you want to print your resume, this is now the good news. You can now print your resume link. No matter how much information you have, the system will try to compress everything into one page. So kung gusto mo talaga mag-print ng papel at mag-submit sa mga kumpanya, walang kaso. Pumunta ka lang sa dashboard mo, hanapin mo yung print na option at mamili ka kung 1 column or 2 column version ang gusto mo i-print. What the system will do is it will try to compress everything into one page para tipid na. O, di ba? Now, usapang tipid. Ito mas tipid pa. Gusto mo mag-print ng resume pero gusto mo magtipid. Etong gawin mo. Gumawa ka ng resume link card. Ano tong resume link card? Sa isang pirasong long bond or short bond paper, mag-design ka ng maraming resume link card. No, maliliit lang, parang business card ang dating. In one piece of paper, I think you can make 10, 20 sets of cards. Depende sa size ng papel mo. At ang importante na ilagay mo dyan sa resume link card mo ay syempre ang inyong resume link. Diba? So, hindi mo na kailangan ilagay lahat ng details mo sa resume sa loob ng maliit na papel. Lagay mo lang resume link mo. And that is what you now give to the companies when you start applying. Look at the picture I'm showing you. Di ba? Tipid. Hindi lang tipid. Secured pa. Tingnan nyo. If you submit yung big paper resume nyo, long bond paper, sinubmit mo sa isang kumpanya, nag-apply ka. For some reason, nilipad ng hangin. Yung nakapulot ng papel na yan, alam na buong detalye mo because everything is in that one-page printout. Now, if you lose that small piece of paper, don't worry. Meron kang peace of mind. Bakit? Yung mga kapulot niyan, limited sa privacy settings mo because you have the ultimate control over your privacy settings kahit na i-type niya yan sa browser. Okay? So, ang recommend ko rin sa mga nakikinig, use the gadget. Take advantage of the technology. Use your gadget, your laptop, your cell phone, your tablet, kung ano man. Okay? Para ngayon kasi, this day and age, technology na ang gamitin natin. Kung mano-mano pa rin kayo, wala kayong gadget, okay lang. Huwag kayong malungkot. You can still submit to the companies by just simply writing the resume link on a piece of paper. As simple as that. Okay? So, again, sa mga nagtatanong, ano yung mga guidelines ko para makagawa ako ng job-winning resume? Ito yung guideline ko. Ito yung checklist ko. Are you using the right tool? That's the ultimate question. There are so many tools right now, but these are the things that you should consider when you make your resume. And that is the resume link. It already addresses the following. Number 1, security ng information mo. I hope by this time, you have peace of mind. Ito na ang pinaka-secured na information because you have the ultimate control over your privacy setting. Pangalawa, the speed of hire becomes faster. It becomes more efficient because whatever you need, whatever the HR needs, you can already put it inside the resume link. Another thing is that it's flexible. If you want to print, just in case lang gusto mo talaga mag-print ng resume nyo, you have the option to print it. And you don't have to worry about saan ko sinave yung file na yan, saan ko tinago, wala nang ganun. Just log into your account and print. Mamili ka lang kung 1 column or 2 column version. At higit sa lahat, wala po itong bayad. Tipid po ito. Walang bayad. Okay? Ang kailangan mo lang, of course, internet. Sa mga nag-iisip sa inyo, sir, kailangan ko ng pan-data. pwede ka naman makakonect sa internet na walang data eh. Punta ka sa libreng wifi. Di ba? Baka yung kapitbahay nyo may libreng wifi, o makagamit ka muna. Later on, pag may trabaho ka na, may sweldo na, bayaran mo yung wifi niya. O di ba? Bawi-bawi lang yan. No? Give and take. And there are a lot more benefits to just what I've mentioned. Marami pang iba. You can share your resume link to whatever platform you want to share it to. Gusto mo i-text? Gusto mo siya i-private message? Gusto mo i-send via Viber? Kayo bahala. Pwede mo i-share. Basta kayo may control. Ganun lang kasimple. No? Kung hindi mo ito binigay sa kahit kanino, hindi malalaman to nung taong yon. And you don't have to save it to whatever USBs or hard drive. No need na. Wala rin tong mga tipong version na kailangan pa mag-compatible. Walang ganun. Lahat ito compatible. Pwede lahat. Okay? So, shout out na lang ako. Shout out to all our school partners. By the grace of God, right now, we have about 400 plus colleges and university partners nationwide, including your alma mater. So thank you. We're very thankful for this opportunity that we're able to do this kahit tayo nasa loob ng bahay, kahit kayo ay nasa loob ng bahay. So hindi tayo physically nagpe-present, pero nakakatulong pa rin tayo, especially if you have friends or relatives whom you think would need this tool. Please share this to them. Okay? Sa mga nagtatanong naman ng mga frequently asked questions, sasagutin ko na. Ito kasi yung mga common questions na kadalasan tinatanong sa akin. Ang tanong, can I give my resume link to companies who do not know about jobs180.com? The answer is absolutely yes. It depends kung sino ang bibigyan mo. Ikaw may ultimate control niyan. Okay? Pangalawang question, is this the same as other job platform like LinkedIn, JobStreet, iba pang mga job site? The answer is no. Meron tong dalawang major difference. Yes. Lalo na pagdating sa security. Okay. Of course, explain lang ako Okay. With respect to the other sites that I've mentioned, let me just use JobStreet as an example para lang mas makarelate, no? Para makarelate. You can only use JobStreet resume if you're applying to companies who are also using JobStreet. If you're applying to a company who is not using JobStreet, you cannot use your JobStreet resume anymore. With your resume link, you can use this to any type of company, any platform, wherever they are. Kahit sa loob ng Pilipinas or sa labas ng Pilipinas, pwede mong applyan. Kahit hindi niya alam ang Jobs 180, basta alam niya ang resume link mo, pwede niya mabuksan ang profile at makita according to your settings. That's the first difference. Pangalawang difference, kung nabigay mo na, kung na-submit mo na ang JobStreet resume mo sa isang company, wala ka nang pwedeng baguhin. Lahat ng data mo nandun na yan sa HR. Yes. Hindi na magbabago yan real time. With your resume link, na-submit mo today, mali pala number mo, na-submit mo today, mali pala yung spelling mo, you can always edit it, enter, save it, real-time update. Lahat ng bigyan mo ng resume link, updated real-time. Ayos? Okay, tuloy tayo sa number 3 question. Number 3 question is the easiest question. Ang tanong dito is, can I keep my information secured? I hope by this time, na-convince ko na kayo na ito na ang pinaka-secured na platform. Okay? That's the reason why I'm sharing this to you. Okay? Number 4, I think this is the most important question. How often should you update your resume link? Ang sagot dito, hindi araw-araw, hindi linggo-linggo, hindi buwan-buwan, hindi taon-taon. Ang sagot dito ay every time. Every time na meron kayong babaguhin, lalo na ang contact details nyo. Yan ang importante. You have to update your contact details every time na meron kayong papalitan doon. Kasi yan yung paraan para makontak kayo ng mga companies. And the last question is just a trivia. Why is this called jobs180.com? This is called jobs180.com because we want to turn your life around. Yan, di ba? 180 degrees. Hindi siya 360. Kasi kung 360, bumalik ka lang kung saan ka galing. Di balik-balik ka lang, balik-balik ka lang, balik-balik ka lang. Di wala nangyari. Di ba? So you have to do it 180 degrees. It's a straight line towards your career goal. Okay? Just in case may tanong pa kayo, nahiya magtanong, pumunta lang kayo sa website namin, sa jobs180.com, or email me here sa info@jobs180.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram para makakuha kayo ng mga latest trends in recruitment. Okay? Again, my name is Kim Chua. Don't forget yung wa. Okay? Baka Kim Chu lang maalala nyo. Na nagsasabing, be safe at isang magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Sir Kim. So to our audience, the floor is now open for questions. So kung meron kayong tanong kay Sir Kim, pwede niyo siyang tanungin. So to give you time to think about your questions, I'll go first. So question number 1. Sir, can you use your school provided email address when you sign up for this account?
Okay, thank you for that question. Sa mga students na nabigyan or you're using the school official email address or school issued email address to register for your resume link sa Jobs on 80, yes, you can use it. It is a valid email, so you can verify your account immediately after that. However, ito yung however doon. However, I recommend that you still use your personal email. The reason why I am recommending that you use your personal email so that later on, once you graduate, and I'm sure you will graduate, no, sooner or later, gagraduate naman kayo. Pagka-graduate nyo, you might not be able to access or use yung official school issued email addresses na ninyo pag nag-graduate nyo. So, mas maganda kung nakagawa ka na ng resume link using your school issued email address, you edit it now. Okay, palitan mo na sa personal email nyo. Sa mga hindi pa gumagawa, then recommend ko, wag mo na gamitin. Gamitin mo na lang yung personal email nyo para you don't need to change it anymore later on. 'Di ba? So, yun na yun. Mas recommend ko gamitin ang personal email addresses. Okay?
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
sir. So, question number 2. Is it okay to apply for jobs beyond their course or mga positions
Outside,
na totally
you mean
unrelated?
outside their course?
Yes, totally unrelated to their field or to
Mm.
their um tawag ng discipline, ganyan, sir.
Okay. Ako, my perspective on that one, my personal opinion is yes, you can explore to as many companies, as many type of industries and specialization, even if they are outside of your course. Okay, so bakit ko nasabi yan? Kasi kung hindi naman kailangan i-limit no, yung ating trabaho dun lang sa course na tinake natin. Now, there are certain cases where HR will still prioritize or give priority to those who are from that respective field. So halimbawa, kayo ay from accounting, tapos yung nag-hire naman na company is looking for an accountant, edi most probably accounting talaga yung background no nahahanapin nila, no? Pero I'm not saying na if you are not from that field, hindi ka na pwede mag-apply kasi marami na may ibang mga trabaho na very flexible no yung course as long as the skills are there. So I recommend you update your resume link with your skill sets even if they're not connected to your course. Kaya ng sample ko kanina, even if you are not from IT, if you know a lot of IT stuff, mga Photoshop, editing, 'di ba? Photography, ganyan. And then you want to apply to say as a graphic designer, kahit na yung course mo accounting, okay lang. 'Di ba? If your skills are into graphic designing, you can apply for a graphic designer or IT position. So yan. So, yun lang sa akin. You can apply to as many as you want.
Pwede,
Ah,
pwede.
pwede, oo. Basta lang research ka rin, ha. Research din about the company. Wag yung trigger happy, apply na apply tapos hindi alam ano yung ina-applyan.
Bahala
Kasi
na.
minsan,
Bahala na kung saan mapasok.
'di ba kasi mamaya pagdating doon sa sa interview, tanungin kayo ng HR, sabihin, why did you apply for this position? 'Di ba? Tapos sasagutin ng aplikante, hindi ko po maalala, hindi ko alam. I don't even remember nag-apply ako. 'Di ba? Pagka ganun, parang sinasayang mo lang oras mo. 'Di ba? Minsan may mga tanong din ng mga HR very simple pero very valid, no? Ang tanong nila, what do you know about the company? O doon pa lang magkakabukingan na eh. Kasi pag hindi mo alam, sagutin yung question na yon, that only means that you didn't do your research. And therefore, you're not prepared. So, sayang oras, 'di ba? So, malamang hindi kayo i-screen, 'di ba? 'Yun na 'yun. Okay? Ayan.
What happens to no-shows? Ano po nangyayari
No
sa
show
mga
meaning
sa interview?
na-schedule na sila tapos intentionally or for whatever reason they did not show up. Yan ang wag niyong gagawin, no? Sa mga nakikinig, never ever do that because you're going to leave you're not going to leave a good impression. Yan 'yon, no? And HR people, they move around. So once they remember you na ganun pala itong aplikanteng to, ito pala yung aplikanteng dati ni schedule ko. Nag-confirm sa akin for an interview. Tapos hindi nagpakita, hindi man lang nagparamdam, wala man lang advice na ano nangyari. Then chances are you will lessen parang nililiitan mo yung mundo mo eh. 'Di ba? So the next time na mangyari magpunta ka sa isang company, good thing na lang pag hindi rin yun yung HR na nandoon sa company na yon. At saka hindi lang yun, hindi lang about HR people moving around. HR people knows HR people. 'Di ba? They're in that industry. So pagka napagkwentuhan lang, ay, ano mo tong aplikanteng to, si sample na lang si wala tuloy si Juan de la Cruz. Ano, itong Juan de la Cruz na to, hindi nag-show up sa akin eh. Tapos mamaya, talaga, pag nalala to ng ibang makakwentuhan niya, you never know, di ba? Parang you're not leaving a good impression. So, simple lang, ang recommend ko dyan, if you are not serious with that company, then might as well not apply. Okay? Now, for some reason, nakapag-apply ka na, at napasubo ka na, no? Ika nga, napasubo ka na, nag-submit ka na information mo, and then they called you for a possible interview, not an interview, for a possible schedule na for a face-to-face, or perhaps, yun nga, a virtual interview, nag-schedule na kayo for the next steps. If you think you're not serious for that position, sabihin nyo ni totoo. 'Di ba na hindi na po ako magpapatuloy, 'di ba? Ganon. Or just in case na lang, at that moment seryoso ka pa. And then by the time tinawagan ka na for a scheduled interview, yung time na yon, meron ka na palang ibang napupusuan, 'di ba? Meron ka na ibang company na gusto mong applyan. Then you can just tell the HR politely. No, you can inform them, you can send them a message. Just make sure lang they also acknowledge. 'Di ba? Same way that when they schedule you for an interview, they also wanted to make sure that you also acknowledge, di ba? Hindi naman sila basta magsasabi sa'yo, oy, meron kang interview 10 o'clock Thursday, ganitong date. Di ba? And then they will just assume that you'll be there, di ba? Hindi naman mangyayari yung ganun eh. Kadalasan, HR will also expect that you confirm first. So, ganun din, when you reply or when you would like to decline politely, please advise and make sure that the HR also acknowledges yung message mo or yung intention mo. Diba? That way, instead of leaving a bad impression, ang mangyayari pa, magta-turn things around pa yan. Mangyayari pa niyan, you're leaving a good impression to that HR. So they might give a good word pa, no, for that. Ay, alam mo si Juan de la Cruz, ang galing ng aplikante yun. Imagine mo, di na nagpatuloy dito, nagpaalam pa. O, diba? So that other company might, diba, get a thing or two from that applicant na pwede niya makonsider. You never know, diba? Umiikot lang talaga yan. So, yan po. Yan ang
Can you
recommend
withdraw,
ko.
sir? Like, sa ano lang, hindi ka pa nag-interview, sir. Doon lang sa application.
At nag-submit ka pa lang, okay. That's also another good thing with the resume link. Kasi sa resume link, when you have already click on submit and you've already applied no, to a certain company, for some reason, for whatever reason na lang, no, bila naisip mo ayaw mo na magpatuloy, you really want to withdraw your application, pwede ka pumunta sa dashboard mo by logging into your resume link. Tapos you can choose the companies that you applied to, click mo yung withdraw application. Ang mangyari nun, yung lahat ng information mo for that specific position, mapupull out na. At malalaman na rin nung HR, nakalagay dun sa kanyang, sa side ng HR, nakalagay application withdrawn. Diba? So, by doing so, then at least diba, nasisend mo yung message na hindi ka na magpapatuloy. Diba, dun sa position. Yes, you can do that. That's also one of the amazing things that I find in this resume link very useful. Not that I'm encouraging the audience to do apply, tapos withdraw. Hindi ko sinasabing ganun. I'm just saying lang na for some reason nakapag-apply ka na tapos talagang nagbago na isip mo or kasi meron ka nang tinanggap na trabaho. Syempre, hindi mo na pagpapatuloy yung position na yun. You might want to just click on that button, withdraw application button. It will make things more efficient sa side mo. You don't need to go to that office or company para lang sabihin, ma'am, nag-apply po ko sa inyo 3 months ago. Yung information ko po, babawiin ko na. Diba? You can do that, pero in the face-to-face setting, mahirap din gawin yun eh. Kasi the HR, number one, has to entertain yung request mo to give back your information. And sometimes, I'm speaking as an HR, yung mga nag-submit ng resume, kadalasan natago na yan sa active file. Or possibly na shredder na yan. Kung hindi naman pala na consider yung aplikante, malamang na shred na yung application, 'di ba? So, hindi na niya mababalik sa yung papel na hiningi mo. Unlike your resume link, it's easier, it's more convenient. 'Di ba?
Makikita ba, sir, yung status ng application dun sa dashboard?
Yes. Oo. By the way, yung mga nakikinig ngayon ng mga audience, you might have questions, ha? Hindi ito one-on-one interview with Ma'am Shari. Okay, baka lang kasi may gusto kayong tanungin, just feel free to raise your questions here sa comment section para ma-address natin. But anyway, going back to the question of Ma'am Shari, ano nga ba yun? Naka-reflect ba yung mga in-applyan, 'di ba? Oh, yes, when you submit your resume link using jobs180.com, nakita mo yung mga companies, tapos nag-submit ka ng resume link mo, yan, nakalagay doon yung mga application status.
Makikita ba nila, sir, kung nabuksan na?
Oo, application status yan. Naka-reflect doon kung unprocessed, obviously, hindi pa talaga nabubuksan. Pero kung nakita mo na processing or being processed na siya, isa lang ibig sabihin nun, natignan na yon nung HR. So, what you need to do lang on your end is keep your communication lines open. Because you never know. Diba? tumawag sa inyo yung HR, tapos hindi ka pala available or hindi mo pala in-update yung details mo, yun ang pinakasayang sa lahat. Tinatawagan ka na, ikaw na yung nilalapitan, pero hindi ka ma-reach. So that's the problem, no? I also wanted to share my personal experience a few weeks back, because until last week, no, I was trying to call a lot of applicants because we have a lot of vacancies. By the way, promote na rin pala ako, no? Marami kaming vacancies right now sa jobs180.com. If you're into web development, no, so kung web developer ka, into IT, yan isa sa mga priority hiring natin. Internal for jobs180.com, that's for internal requirement. We also need another customer support, and customer service na person, no? So kung interesado kayo maging part ng team namin sa jobs180.com, right now it's all work from home. So that's, I think, to your advantage din, no? Right now, kasi hindi pa rin talaga tayo fully nakabalik sa ating new normal, next normal, or never normal, sabi nga nila. So ngayon, you just need to send your resume link dun sa link na nagsuscroll ngayon. Kita mo yung nagsuscroll, schools.jobs180.com/SDCA. That stands for St. Dominic College of Asia. Or pumunta kayo sa jobs180.com. Hanapin nyo lang yung Jobs 180. Makita mo yung mga opportunities doon. Marami. So submit nyo lang resume link nyo. Now kung gusto nyo naman mag-email, email lang kayo sa info, that's info, at jobs180.com. Make sure lang you express your intent. Nakalagay doon that you are applying for those positions. Now, if you're looking for OJT or internship, ganun din. We have a lot of internship, virtual internship program that you can explore. So, same thing din. Submit your information, resume link niya sa amin. Now, going back to what I was saying lang, itatry ko lang i-relate, no? Kasi a few weeks back, up until last week, I've been trying to contact a lot of mga applicants, no? And this is my statistics. Imagine I contacted 10 of them because 10 of them applied. So yung 10 yun, nag-submit ng kanilang resume link, kinontak ko yung 10, 7 of them, ito yung stats ko, 7 of them, ring lang ng ring yung number, yung phone. So I tried calling mga 2-3 times. I think yung isa umabot ako 5 times because I really wanted to interview that two specific applicant. Wala talaga, walang reply, walang sagot, walang anything. And I'm sure naka-receive siya ng missed call. Sa dami ba naman ng missed call ko? 3, 4 na missed calls yan, di ba? 5 pa nga yung isa eh. But I never got anything. So I was wondering, no, maybe the next step there is, siguro baka yung taong yun walang load. Yun ang iniisip ko, Ma'am Shari. Baka yung mga nakikinig ngayon, minsan ang worry nila, paano ko mag-reply kung wala ako load, di ba? So ang sa akin lang, you can borrow, you can use someone else's phone to reply, and then of course magpakilala kayo na kayo yung naka-receive ng ganung call para lang alam din nung tumatawag sa inyo, lalo na kung HR yan, di ba, for a possible job opportunity. Ang bottom line dyan is huwag kayong magpaasa. The same way din na yung companies, ayaw rin naman nila magpaasa sa inyo eh. Di ba? So kayong mga aplikante, no, ayaw nyo rin naman kayo pinapaasahan, di wag rin kayo magpaasa. Okay? So yun. Pag hindi gusto, hindi na magpo-push through with the application, you just feel free to send a message and the HR will understand. At least may closure. Yan ang importante.
Kahit kaka-apply lang yun, sir, like recent application tapos hindi talaga siya.
That was that's the irony of it eh. Nakuha ko yung application parang tipong a day ago lang. Parang kahapon, example lang, kahapon na-receive the application, ngayon ko lang nabasa. So what I did, immediately call. Yan ang unang kong ginawa. Tinawagan ko. I never got any answer. So tawag ako ulit, no? After like 10 minutes, tawag ako ulit. Then I sent a message. After I think I did 3 calls, I sent a message. Sabi ko, yun nga, I'm calling for this opportunity. If you're interested, 'di ba? Please let me know when ka available so I can call you again, 'di ba? Ganun 'yun. Hindi naman lahat ng oras tawagan ng tatawagan, 'di ba? Hindi naman kita bubuisitin ng ganun, 'di ba? So baka malobat na yung phone mo sa katawag ko. At saka ako rin wala rin ako ganun karaming oras para call lang. Diba? Syempre marami ring ibang aplikante pwede i-consider. But my point is, yun lang yung gusto ko sabihin, no? When you receive messages or calls, lalo na missed calls yan, try to reply lang. A simple, hi, I receive a missed call, diba, from this number. How may I help you? Diba? What can I do for you? Diba? Knowing that you are the applicant din, ha? Diba? Pag tinamad yung HR mag-send sa inyo ng message, I hope okay tama rin mag-reply. Replyan mo lang, sendan mo lang ng message, and that will give a good impression, diba, to the company. Ayun.
Sir, we have a question here coming
Go
from
ahead.
Catherine. Is there a possibility for our account to be terminated if inactive for months? If yes, will it automatically delete our personal information?
The answer to that question, Ma'am Ann, no. Your account is perpetual. So, ibig sabihin, for life, no? Sabi nga nila kung hindi ka naniniwala sa forever, dito po sa resume link may forever. Because your account, once you are able to create one, successfully create one, and you're able to verify, that's already yours. So ang mangyari lang yan, update nga lang from time to time. From your graduation all the way to your retirement, di ba? Sabi nga, pwede mo gamitin yung account mo. As in, yan na yun. That's already yours. Okay?
Pero hindi naman siya searchable, sir. Like,
Hindi siya searchable. Lalo na sa jobs80.com, pag pumunta ka sa jobs80 na search bar, pwede mo lang ma-search doon. Halimbawa, subukan mo na lang gawin, Ma'am Ann Catherine. Pumunta ka sa jobs180.com na website. Okay, meron doon search bar. Yung search bar na makita mo lang doon, company name, position title, tsaka location. So unless yung company meron or position or title may nakalagay na Ann o kaya Catherine, may lalabas. Pero kung wala naman Ann doon or Catherine, then nothing will come out sa website ni Jobs180. Okay, so yun. That's why I always say, hindi siya searchable pag pumunta ka sa website ni jobs180.com. Yan. In terms of your account information, hindi naman siya magdi-delete. Ikaw may control of your privacy settings. So you if you're not actively looking, you might want to turn off muna lahat ng mga mga notification mo, tsaka yung view in public, i-off mo muna, no? So it won't be kumbaga even if the person knows your resume link, they won't be able to see your information once you turn it off. Yan.
okay. So, thank you for that, sir. Siguro, sir, last na lang po. Wrap up na po tayo, no?
Okay.
So, ang last question ko na lang po is, can you tell us about the red flags? Yung parang that they have to watch out for.
Okay, you have to watch out for the following. When you start applying to those companies, whether face-to-face yan or virtual, lalo na yung virtual kasi ngayon, karamihan ng mga aplikante, virtual naman yung starting point. Diba? It will be more efficient. It's easier on your end. On everyone's end. No? Mas mabilis ang virtual. Some of the red flags, number one, if there's no information about the company. No? And then, yung iba naman, may information, i-refer nila sa Facebook. Okay, akin lang, opinion ko lang to. Yung Facebook, hindi yan yung website ng company. Facebook is a social media platform. So, some companies are using Facebook to be able to promote their company, but they still have to have an official website. Diba? Dapat may official website yung company na yun. Now, kung wala, that's another red flag for me. If companies are asking for personal details, too much information, too personal details na too much. Like, for example, bank account mo, yung mga ganun details. Diba? Hindi ka pa naman na-hire Hindi pa naman nila ikaw papadala ng sweldo. Diba? Wala pa namang payroll pinag-uusapan It's starting point, screening pa lang. That's another red flag. Another red flag is pag walang physical location yung company. Mag-isip na kayo. Saan mo hahanapin yung kumpanya yun? And under the Philippine laws, hindi pwede mag-operate ang isang company sa Pilipinas, kahit saan man lupalop ng Pilipinas, nang wala siyang physical office. So you have to make sure na merong physical office na nag-exist yung company na yon. Lastly, pag yung tipong naniningil ng bayad. Kapag local and direct hiring, linawin ko lang kasi mamaya nag-a-apply kayo sa mga manpower agency, maningil sa inyo for processing fee, sabi mo illegal yun. Hindi ko sinasabing ganun. I'm just saying, kapag local and direct hiring, dito ka nag-a-apply, diretso doon sa company, dapat kahit na piso, kahit na isang sentimo, walang sinisingil yung company sa inyo. Yan. Kung sakaling meron, then those are red flags na. No? Yan. And that's what I can guarantee you. You check out our website. All the companies that you will find in jobs180.com are legit. These are legitimate companies. At least up to our due diligence na check namin sila. In case lang you encounter some of these red flags, feel free to raise them and let us know para at least maging aware din kami. Just in case lang na may mga malpractices yung mga companies na nandyan. But so far, wala pa naman kami na-encounter. Okay? But just in case lang meron, feel free to send us a message sa info@jobs180.com. Okay? Ayan.
Okay, so thank you for those reminders, sir. I'm sure the students appreciate what they have to watch out for. Kasi ang daming naman pong parang instances na nanlalamang yung mga fly-by-night companies.
Oo, marami nagtitake advantage. Ngayon, lalo na yung mga fresh grad.
Victims nila yung mga bago or yung mga
mga fresh grad, ganun. Minsan nga alam mo, ito simple lang, Ma'am Shari, no? I remember me as a fresh grad back then. Wag niyo na tanungin kung kailan yun, Pero that was like 2 decades ago. Imagine going to companies, pagpunta pa lang doon, no, may application form. Kailangan ko para magbayad, no? Yung application form, ₱5. So tapos tataka na ako, ha, mag-a-apply ako ₱5 tapos wala akong ballpen, bebentahan pa ako ng ballpen. Yun ibang usapan yung ballpen. Yun pwede yun. Kasi after ka bentahan, sa'yo na yung ballpen eh. 'Di ba? Pero yung application form, hindi dapat yung binibenta yun, 'di ba? Nag-a-apply ka nga dun sa kumpanya eh. Ba't ka charge kahit piso? Dapat hindi pwede. Okay? So yun na.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for those reminders, sir. Thank you for
Thank you
joining
rin.
us.
Thank you. Be safe everyone. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
So to our audience, huwag kayong mahiya magtanong. Pwedeng-pwede kayong maglagay ng questions nyo for our speakers dyan. Tapos i-address naman natin after their talk. So for our second speaker, we have top skills employers look for to be presented by Miss Katrina Camille Gaspar, Supervisor for Candidate Engagement of Inspiro. Miss Camille graduated from Our Lady of Fatima University with a degree of Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. Before joining the industry, she was in the medical field but got interested in human resources. That is why she pursued her career in the BPO industry under talent acquisition team. She has been with Inspiro for 7 years, currently managing the employee referral program and the Mandaluyong site of Inspiro. Miss Kat, the floor is yours.
Hi guys, good afternoon. I'm Kat from Inspiro. So today we will be discussing top skills employers look for. So let's proceed with the slide. So okay, let's first define what is skill. Okay, it says here that skill is the learned ability to perform an action with determined results with good execution, often within a given amount of time, energy, or both. So these are your talents that you use in order to do your job or a certain task. Um, Oftentimes, employers check on your skills so they can determine if you should move to the next process. So now I will be giving you the top skills that we look for. So by sharing this, I hope that you guys will showcase your skill, or this will help you showcase your skills to your future employer. So first on our list is communication skills. So usually, pag sinabi natin communication skills, people are thinking that this is being good or fluent in English, but actually it's not. It's actually the ability to communicate effectively, may it be verbal or written, and being clear and concise about the message that you want to relay to the receiver. So, this is actually one of the most important things that we are looking for, especially now that we are working from a work from home setup, or most of the companies are working from home. We need this to make sure that nothing is lost in translations, because usually problems occur if we have a poor communication in organization. So when we talk about communication, it's not just about speaking. It also includes listening, feedback, writing, and of course your nonverbal gestures. So, say for example, you will be applying for a sales or marketing field or even a managerial position. Employers usually look for those candidates with good communication skills, since you will be dealing with different kinds of people. But then, regardless of the position you are applying for, you need to be able to communicate effectively with your coworkers, your supervisor or superiors, and your clients or your customers. Okay. So next on our list is the critical thinking and problem solving skills. So critical thinking is the ability to analyze and evaluate an, an issue to form a judgment, and this is a key component of problem solving. So most of the time, there are unexpected problems that will arise at work, which requires quick response or resolution. That is why being able to solve the problems immediately is an important quality that we are looking for. This is also the reason why some other employers ask situational questions during the interview, because we want to gauge your critical thinking and problem solving skills So, wag nating iisipan na pinapahirapan tayo or pinapahirapan ka nung nag-i-interview sa'yo dahil sa mga questions na meron siya. It's just our way of checking your critical thinking and problem-solving skills. Okay? And then, third, of course, is your leadership skills. So, this is actually important also. Another thing that we are looking for, you may be applying for a entry-level position, but as early as your initial interview, we are checking if you can be a future leader. If you will notice during the interview, we are asking if you have experience handling a team or being appointed as a leader because we want to see how you assign or how you delegate tasks or how you meet the deadlines that are given to you because part siya para alam namin na itong hina-hire naming tao is pwede naming ma matulungang maging successful and to become a leader in the future. So, actually, most of the companies, especially in our company, we prefer promoting our current employees rather than hiring externally kasi mas na-hone na sila, mas kilala sila, and mas kabisado ni employer kung ano yung skills na meron tong taong to. So, make sure that during your interview, you showcase your leadership skills. Some of the questions that we might ask you during the interview to check your leadership skills is if you how can you motivate your team or can you tell us a time when you demonstrated leadership skills. So by asking that question, we can gauge if you have a leadership skill, right? And then another thing that we are looking for is actually teamwork skills. This is actually an important asset to any employee. Again, regardless of the position, employers want to hire team players. They don't want to work with people who are difficult to handle or difficult to work with. Siyempre, sino ba naman yung may gustong makipagtrabaho sa taong ganon, di ba? If you will remember during your time na gumagawa kayo ng thesis, we are in a group. Siyempre, dyan sa group may mga taong hindi gaano nakikipag-cooperate. Ayan yung mga tipo ng teammates na sasabihin na magbabayad na lang sila and then the rest kayo nang bahala. So, parehas din siya when you are working na. We don't want those kind of people na walang mako-contribute sa team. So, during your interview, make sure that you show that you can work with different variety of people. You are dependable, cooperative, and work well with others. Some questions that we can ask is, how do you feel about working in a team environment? Or you will be asking you to provide example of a time that you showed your teamwork skills. Okay. Next is the technical skills. So actually, technical skills, this will vary depending on the job that you're applying for. This actually requires a knowledge on a certain application, software, or a certain job. These can also be seen if you were able to complete a higher level of education or a mastery on a certain field. So, for example, if you are a graduate of an IT course or engineering, during the interview, you might want to share the skills that you master during the time that you are studying. Or, example, if you are a doctor, you can share your specializations. Say, for example, your specialization is on pedia or ortho or cardio, so things like that. But again, technical skills will vary depending on the job that you are applying for. Next one, we have the interpersonal skills. This is actually known as people skills. So this allows you to effectively interact with others both in and out of your organization. So some of the interpersonal skills that we are checking is your flexibility. We usually ask if you're flexible when it comes to hours of operation, if you can work during daytime or nighttime, or if you can work during holidays or weekends. So So that's how we check your flexibility. We are also looking for the team building, and we are checking if you can ask and provide feedbacks with your teammates or your superior. Of course, we are also looking for your humor, your patience, your tolerance, and your sensitivity. So some questions that we ask in line with the interpersonal skills are: would you like to be a part of a team, or do you want to work alone, or how will your former employer will describe you? So those are the two questions, sample questions that we usually ask to check your interpersonal skills. So seventh skill is digital literacy. So in the world that we live in, it's very, very important now that you are knowledgeable when it comes to digital world. So being knowledgeable how to use computers, online research, applications, or specific softwares are expected from you guys. So anything that's related to digital. Since I've mentioned nga kanina that most of the companies now are hiring for work from home setup. So it's really an advantage if you are knowledgeable in digital. So say for example, you are applying as a recruiter. um, you should be updated with the current trends on how to look or search for an applicant. Or you should at least know how to use the basic Microsoft applications like Excel, Word, PowerPoint, and the likes. And also, as simple as using the online platforms such as Zoom, Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, or anything that we use for video conferencing, you must be aware of that or know the basics on how to use it. And of course, how to use social media effectively if you are actually applying or working for a marketing field. But if ever, guys, that you don't know something, make sure that you convey your willingness to learn that thing. And you also need to be updated on the new trend when it comes to digital world. So you need to research, read a lot of articles regarding with the new trend. So it will help you hone or enhance your digital literacy skill, right? On to our eighth skill, it's work ethic. So, work ethic is actually a set of moral principles or values that an employee abides by and uses in their job performance. It actually covers an employee's behavior and attitude towards their job, career, and the workplace. So, every employer wants their employees to have a strong work ethic and be professional no matter what position or no matter what job it is. You are expected to be professional and to have a um, strong work ethic. So we are checking your discipline, integrity, accountability, initiative, and your commitment to the company. So we want to know if we can trust you to perform your duties, to meet your deadlines, and of course, work well with others. So remember that having a good work ethic is very, very important. And then I think the last one is time and stress management. So here we are checking if you can manage your time and be as productive as possible. You should also know how to prioritize effectively. So during the interview, you can share your study habits if you don't have your work experiences yet. But for those experienced students or applicants, you might want to share how you prioritize things, how you work when you're stressed, because we want to know how you plan, how you strategize, how you set your goals. And then, if you will also notice during the interview, we are asking you how do you manage your stress, because we want to know your ability to work under pressure since sa work from time to time may mga problems na lumalabas. So, mas stress ka talaga. So, you want to know if you can handle the pressure. So, speaking of prioritizing, I would like to quickly give you a little tip on how to prioritize your tasks or things that you need to do. So first, you need to have a list of all the things that you need to accomplish for the day. And then after that, prioritize it based on the importance and urgency of the task. So the first thing that you need to accomplish are those matters that are important and urgent. And then the second things that you or matters that you need to accomplish are those important but not urgent. And then the third ones the third one are those tasks that are not important but urgent. And lastly, are those not important and not urgent. So for this category, the uh, time and stress management, we usually ask you how do you prioritize your tasks or how do you manage your deadlines. And we are asking you to describe how you manage your stress at work. That will help us determine your time and stress management skills. So since this is the last, so I hope that you remember these 9 skills that we usually look for a candidate during the interview. Of course, there are still other skills that a company look for, but it will really depend on the position you're applying for. So it's best if you research before your interview because the great time to market your skills is during your initial interview. Try to mention all the skills that is relevant to the job that you are applying for, and you might want to think of the real life examples wherein you apply those skills and how you achieve success. Another tip is during your interview, if you were asked ng situational question, try to answer in a STAR method. S stands for situation, T for task, A for action, R is your resolution. You need to state what happened, what is the problem, and then task, ano yung task na naka-assign sa'yo or na-delegate sa'yo, and ano yung ginawa mo for the action, and what is your resolution or what is the outcome. So you can really highlight your skills. So now that you have an idea of which skills employers look for, I hope this will help you land the job that you wanted. So that's it for me. Thank you for listening, guys.
Thank you for that, Miss Kat. So unfortunately, Miss Kat can't join us for the Q&A, but we will reserve your questions for our next speaker discussing productivity in the time of pandemic. So we would like to introduce our next speaker. So our next speaker is Miss Fidelity Pepito, Talent Acquisition Officer for VXI Global. She is a recruitment and marketing professional who has 6 years worth of well-rounded experience in talent attraction, specifically involving both internal and external talent sourcing initiatives. With her current role as Talent Acquisition Officer, she is responsible for VXI's recruitment, targeted advertising campaigns, and strategic brand partnerships. Here to discuss productivity in the time of pandemic, we have Miss Fidelity Pepito. Hi, ma'am. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hi. Ma'am, can we test your screen share?
All right, I'm currently sharing my screen already. Can you see it?
Um, Wait lang po namin sa presentation. Ayan, ma'am. Okay
All
na po.
right.
Full screen na lang po ako, ma'am.
Okay. All
Ayan.
right.
Okay na, ma'am. So, I'll be back po for the Q&A in 20 minutes. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Charlene. All right. Hi, everybody. Good morning. My name is Fidelity, or you can call me Fids. The topic that is assigned for me today would be productivity in time of pandemic. So to start, oh, sorry. Log. All right, so to start, I'd like to give you an overview first regarding our agenda today. So first would be I'd like to discuss first the effects of pandemic in our productivity. Next would be some tips or ways to stay productive during the pandemic. So here are some of the lists or some of the items that I listed down that might affect or that currently affecting our productivity during the pandemic. These are not limited to, but yeah, here are some. So one would be the sudden shift from traditional to digital. So as we all know, when the lockdown happened or this pandemic came, everybody is not ready for it, and there's a sudden shift from doing the traditional things to the new normal way or to the digital way in doing the things that we used to do. So that's one. And then next would be since we are not ready for the pandemic or when the lockdown happened, it affects our productivity because we some of us had limited resources for gadgets, for the internet connection, or even to reception for calls or texts. It depends on the area. And then next is technology availability. Same with limited resources, there are also challenges in logistics and in getting the technology that we need to in doing the things that we have to do. So it affects our productivity. And then next would be, as mentioned, it affected our connections in terms of connections, and also there are things that you can do in a face-to-face talaga. So also the authenticity, you can there are things that you can only feel if you are talking to someone face to face. So these are the things that affected our productivity during the pandemic. And then next is social distancing. So when during the pre-pandemic, there are things that we can do in just 30 minutes of time, 15 minutes of time for us to get a specific item. However, when the lockdown happened or where the pandemic happened, uh, and there are a lot of rules and regulation that we have to follow, specifically social distancing. Instead of doing the things that we just have to allot 30 minutes before, there are times that we have to allot way more than 30 minutes because of the social distancing, the waiting and the queuing of the in availing the item, and of course community lockdowns. It really affects the logistics because there are specific rules that we have to follow per region or specific per municipality. So these are some ways to stay productive during the pandemic. This might work to some, but this might not work to everybody. But maybe we can try, and maybe it can work with you. But before I discuss these things, I'd like to say that we have to ask ourselves. We have to ask ourselves that what is our end goal? What are our objectives? And that way, we would know what are the things that we have to do, what are the things that you'd like to do. And once you've identified that, you can prioritize the things that you have to do, and you can be more productive that way if you know already what your list of items or list of workload, and that way you can be more productive. So one would be get enough rest. So if you have enough rest, you can have enough energy to take the day. And then next would be take a break from the news. So there are a lot of things that's currently happening already. So if as much as possible that we can avoid negative news, then take a break from that. It's still important that you know what's currently happening on your surroundings, but as much as possible, if it's really negative or it's really have a lot of toxicity, and then you have to avoid that, so that you can be more focused on the positive things, or at least the things that you can have uh, have a control with. The next is develop a schedule and stick to it. So, as mentioned, once you already have identified the list that you have to do and you already identified its prioritization, uh, then you'll know what are the things that you should do first. And then create a schedule on a day to day basis and stick to it so that it can be a habit. The next is pick up a reading habit so that every day is a brand new day that you can learn something new. And then once you learned to pick up a reading and you've been learning a lot of things on a day-to-day basis, maybe you can identify if what are the things that you have that you wanted to develop more. During the pandemic, we have a lot of time, especially if there's a lockdown. And then from there, maybe you can develop your skill that you wanted to be more. You can have it as a source of your income. If, like for example, you're a creative person, then you should develop that habit more and turn it to a business or turn it into investment that you can sell of your creative products. That's one example that we can do during the pandemic. And then next is it is important that we have to stay connected with friends and family. Having a healthy relationship with friends and family is really important. It helps your mental state. And then stay active. It's important that we have to stay fit, especially during this time, so that we can be more immune to some sickness or some flu or for we can be immune for COVID-19. So these are just some ways to stay productive during the pandemic. But then again, it really depends on the person. If you will be able to identify your objectives or your end goal, like for example, if your objective is to be fit at the end of a specific timeline, and then you can be more focused on that specific goal, and that way you will be able to say that you were able to be productive when you were able to reach that goal. So there, I hope you can have a self-reflection and identify those things and maybe go for something that we can do to reach that end goal. So this is actually my last slide already. Outlook determines the outcome. So we have to. It is really important that we believe to ourselves that we will be able to get to our end goal, so that we have to stay focused on our objectives or the ways how can we attain that outcome. We have to believe that outlook determines the outcome. So manifesting that can help in reaching that goal. So this I'd like to share with everybody. If ever that you would like to explore the BPO industry, you can apply with us through these channels or so jobs180.com/VXI, and you can also message us to our social media accounts VXIPH, and of course email us to careersph@vxi.com, vxi-family.com, and we are also available in LinkedIn. If ever that you have time to walk into our recruitment hubs, we are open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So that ends my short discussion. I hope you learned a thing or at least two. Thanks, Charlene.
Thank you for that, Miss Feds. So we would like to ask questions po, no? So to our audience, pwede na rin kayo magtanong. So to give you time to think about your questions, I'll go first. Ma'am, how do you balance if you're being productive but you also want to be mentally healthy? Ganyan. So to avoid burnout, what would be your tips?
My tip would be, yeah, you have to know first what are your goal is. If you already know what are the things that you have to do, that's the start. So, like for example, yeah, I wanted to be fit. So, for that to be happen, I have to allot a specific time for it, and at the same time, if I wanted to be mentally stable, also have to allot a time for my self care, or at least for my social state. So yeah, if I will be able to a lot of time to each items that I wanted to attain, then that's a start. Then we can manage yung time and it can be more productive that way.
Okay. So, first on your list, ma'am, is time management.
Yeah, time
Question number
management.
Question number two, ma'am. What are the usual misconceptions
Mm-hmm.
about the BPO industry, and would you like to clarify some of it?
All right. So one misconception about the BPO industry is that we only take calls. So BPO industry or contact center industry is different. BPO industry in total, in general, would be we are we hire people for our clients. That's BPO in the general. But call center specific or contact center, it's just for so in BPO, there's a business to business accounts. There are customer service based accounts. While in contact center, there's a contact between the customers and the company. So that's one conception in the BPO industry, that most of our employees only take calls, but there are a lot of opportunities or career opportunities in the BPO industry. There are career in the operations wherein you start as an agent, wherein you take calls from our customers for our client needs. There are career opportunities for finance, for workforce. For workforce, you are the one who assigned the stuff that is needed for a specific time. There's a career in recruitment. There's a career in finance. So there are a lot of career opportunities in the BPO industry na usually yun yung misconception because some only know that if you are in the BPO industry, you will be only taking calls.
Ayan. So,
So
thank you
there.
for clearing that up,
Mhm.
Miss Fids, no? So, to our audience, hindi lang naman customer service yung
Mhm.
ginagawa sa BPO. So,
Mhm.
marami naman silang other line of businesses if you think that customer service is not for you. Kumbaga, there's a career for everyone. Ayan.
Mhm.
So, ma'am, on behalf of SDCA and also on behalf of my team, we thank you for joining
Mhm.
us for this event, and we hope we can invite you for the next events po in other universities. So thank you, Miss Fids.
Thanks, Shari, and have a good day, everyone.
Have a
Bye
great day.
bye.
Thank you. So for our audience today, the link for VXI is scrolling on your screen. That's jobtraining.com/VXI. So that's where you see the vacancies and the openings available for the company. So pwede na kayo mag-research as early as now. Okay, so next up here to discuss new age career possibilities, we have Sir Daryl Jeremiah R. Gaba, BSN, MA, BSN, RN, MAN, from Makati Medical Center. Sir Daryl earned his Bachelor's of Science degree in nursing from Makati Medical Center College of Nursing and earned his nursing license in the same year. He further took up a higher degree of learning and finished his master's degree in nursing, major in nursing service administration from the University of Makati in 2016. Currently, he is a candidate to finish doctors in philosophy or PhD in business management major in international healthcare system at the Philippine Christian University. He is also a member of the Philippine Nurses Association Incorporated and serving as one of the executive board member and vice president for finance of NCR Zone 5 chapter. He is also recognized in international grounds as a member of Sigma Theta Tau International Honor Society of Nursing and the Preventive Cardiovascular Nurses Association and its working arm, the Global Cardiovascular Nursing Leadership Forum in the USA. He rose from the clinic He rose from the clinical ranks with experiences in cardiothoracic intensive care, telemetry, cardiac nursing. He also specializes in quality and innovation, clinical operation, leadership, and management. And he presently serves as the Nursing Support Services Assistant Vice President of the Division of Nursing and Patient Care Services of Makati Medical Center. So, here to discuss niche career possibilities, we have Sir Daryl. Hi, sir. Good morning. Hi,
Hi,
sir.
good morning. Hello, Shari.
Uh,
Thank you for
hello,
that
sir.
introduction.
Sir, can we test your screen share?
Okay,
And sir,
let's
can
see.
I request to have your other device muted because nag-feedback po sa ano natin. Meron po
Right
feedback
now,
sa
is
Opo.
it my feedback right now? Okay. Anyway, I'll
Meron.
just,
Pa-mute na lang ako, sir.
wala na, meron na.
Ayan, wala na, sir. Okay na po.
Okay. I'm so
Ayan.
sorry. I thought na-mute ko na.
Okay, ayan. Sir, I don't see your presentation up po. Can we have it up?
Can you see it now?
Ayan. Yan. Okay na, sir. And can we please put it on full screen? Ayan. So, sir, thank you. Everything's up and running. So, I leave you to it, sir, and I'll be back for question and answer in 20 minutes.
Thank you,
Thank
Shari,
you,
for
sir.
that introduction. I hope I give justice. No? Napakahaba pala yung sinid namin. So, magandang umaga po sa lahat ng job seekers and viewers of Jobs 180. A pleasant morning from Makati Medical Center, the hospital with the heart. So I'm asked to discuss the 21st century. This is what I call it, the 21st century employee. Where are we going? So these are career possibilities for the new age, as I was told, no? And we are all in the 21st century. So if you want to venture a career or a job nowadays, you'd have to know what is happening around the world. No? Para alam mo if you're relevant, if what you're going to do or what you're doing right now would have a value for you or for your family, or for the company that you'll be working with. So you have to research, you have to find out. Kasi baka you're doing something and when you look around, people are not doing that. No? So the question is, where are we going? So everyone here, I was informed that most of you are graduating or have the majority are graduating students or have newly been graduated if there are some. No? Or maybe some of you here are currently working or actively looking or not what you call this, not disclosing your moves, no? Baka that's the situation. Pero the things that we have to ask, no, what are the options in your current field? I know you're finishing a specific course, no? And what do you think after graduating, or if you're already graduated, what are your options, no, with your current diploma or your current experience? Second, what are the other options in the industry if not in your field? No? Maybe given that it's pandemic and or hopefully post-pandemic, we'll be seeing more opportunities that will open compared to before 2019, before there was pandemic. And next, the question is, how do I qualify? So meaning you're interested in certain jobs or interested in careers, but do you qualify? Are you the first pick of the human resource person or practitioners in that firm? So those are good questions. So are we going to explore alternative career options? I think right now a lot of the trends are about working from home or hybrid working or informal working arrangements. So are we going to talk about alternative career options, or can we go deeper and ask, are our decisions for career sensible? No? Are these sensible career decisions? Did we make the right choice? Or if we did make the right choice, how are we going to make the next choices correct as well? So I looked at the International Labor Organization, their report for April 2022 on the global trends of the job market. So this is what I want to share with you. It says in the report that the pandemic continues to increase self-employment because this is, for some, especially in developing countries like the Philippines, this is the major source of income. So one of the mostly hit by the pandemic are the Southeast Asian region, to which the Philippines is a part of. And the pandemic actually pushes more self-employment during this time after, as we go out of the COVID-19 situation. So I think a lot of you guys know someone who's online selling, who suddenly had a pop-up business, no? During this pandemic, using probably your Shopee accounts or your Instagram, no? Ito yung mga sellers natin, dumami na sila. So there's been a boom of what you call your MSME, your medium and small and micro enterprises, no? Yung mga businesses. And then self-employment and temporary work or informal work, no, these are situations na hindi po siya office-based. No? They're not tied up with a big corporation or enterprises. Probably these are family businesses employing family members. So they can be considered as informal work. No? However, although these things pop up nowadays, you have to think, no, if you're going to be employed or employing people, these sectors actually need basic social and labor protection. So what I'm saying is that although these are good contingencies that during this pandemic, all of these things are assisting us in surviving. However, some employees who are under these work conditions, hindi naman po lahat sila, merong SSS, PhilHealth, no? Pag sila yung nagkasakit, wala po silang benefit in terms of healthcare, no? So these are the things that are the benefit of being tied up with a corporation offers. It's not saying it's bad, no? However, there are pros and cons in a lot of things. And then we have remote work, which offers greater flexibility. For example, working from home, as I mentioned, but actually this disrupts your work-time balance, no? I think a lot of you who have seen people or doing work from home cannot actually differentiate the time for household and the time for working. No? Sometimes they can even go on overtime, wherein pag nasa office sila, it's until 5, it's until 6, it's just after that, you go home lang. Pero pag you're working from home, well, some of them even extend until 11 p.m. kasi they're just at home anyway. So not to mention, not all are capable of doing work from home because if you're not technology savvy, if you don't have the capability for a good internet, what do you call this, bandwidth, no? You're not going to go on working from home. Some data in the Americas, no, sa Amerika po, COVID-19 recovery sees an imbalance of high demand for skilled labor versus a pool of low-skilled worker. So this is one thing, in a nutshell, I want to tell you guys, no, all of you who's going to work eventually, who are will be part of the workforce of the Philippines, will participate, para po mag-increase yung titawag nating participation ng workforce, no, sa Philippines. And of course, we need to survive. Lalo na it's pandemic, a lot of businesses closed, a lot of, well, prices went high sa market, no? Presyo ng gas, no? Ng gasoline, and even that pushes even the transport industry. That would also increase yung sa logistics ng food, no? And lahat ng goods, no? That's why kahit mga groceries, tumaas din yung presyo. And the more that we need to generate money for household, no, to survive, so you need to work. Unfortunately, we need to find that sustenance for finances. No? And there's a difference between a skilled labor and a low-skilled worker. Congratulations to you. One step of making yourself called a skilled worker and not a low-skilled worker is that you're a graduate of college at least. No? And aside from that, this is just the start. No? Sabi mo, sir, natapos lang po ako ng 4-year course ko. Meron pa po bang next? Akala ko tapos na po dyan. Hindi pa po yun tapos, no? And it's okay. It's not something horrible. It's not something you have to worry. Kasi when you go to your field, no, you'll realize na lahat kayo graduates, anong edge mo na? So paano masabi na ikaw ipopromote kung lahat kayo pare-pareho kayo ng capability, pare-pareho ng credential? So you make sure that you target to be that skilled worker that the someone who will promote, no, will choose you compared from the rest. So low skilled, a pool of low skilled worker or siguro those who have not finished a degree have been pushing employers, no, to digitalize or automate, no, a lot of their processes. So instead of spending so much of hiring people, so ginagawa na lang of some firms or companies, o sige, i-automate na lang natin to. Instead of hiring someone that will cost a lot, no? If you would have to think, if you're in HR, a person is really a valuable assets of a company. Kasi yun, merong value yun. Hindi lang basta mag-add ka ng tao kasi aside from salary, benefits yun, no? Meron kang training na in-invest sa kanya. So ang person is the asset of the company. Hindi lang add ng add. So if that person is expensive, so pwedeng makakamura yung company if I just automate him and replace with computers. So or digitalization. So that's one thinking, no? But eventually you will always need your capital, which is your human capital. And Asian region, which is I mentioned are badly hit, no, specifically po sa accommodation like sa mga travel, hotels, no, and food services, but eventually not much on food services because that's part of our survival. So that's part of making sure that that's a basic necessity of life, of course, is to eat. Wholesale and retail trade. So going back from working from home, which is actually our inevitable pandemic effect. So inevitable meaning wala tayong magagawa. That's the effect of the pandemic. And at some point, if we want to do social distancing and to prevent infection spread, no, you'll have to put people away from each other. And one of that is working from home. So the advantages, no, I'm not saying this is totally bad and not totally good then. There's always pros and cons in a lot of things. So for working from home, the advantage will be more leisure or social time. So you have more time with your family. Although as I mentioned also, no, there's a disadvantage to that, and I'll be mentioning that later on. It would boost productivity kasi you'll be able to work on the time that you wanted to pitch in kung kailan ka more in the mood to, do a lot of thinking, no, a lot of focusing, no, and that would be your time will be more productive. It reduces your overhead. This one is an advantage for companies. Kasi as I mentioned sa inyo, ang value po ng isang tao na ina-add sa company. That's why pag kayo po i-hire, hindi po kayo basta-basta, o sige, i-hire na po yung 10 yan, i-hire ko. No? That's why merong rigorous process. No? Kasi lahat po kayo have to fit in with the company in terms of kayo po kasi magiging asset nila. So they would add, of course, the best of the best if you are going to be worth a lot. No? So it would be a reduction of their cost if they would not be hiring kasi, or if they would lower your benefits kasi, of course, you're just staying at home. No? So improve employee morale because a lot of employees would like to stay more at home, no, than being on site. Some disadvantages that is based on literature would be blurring the home-work balance, as I mentioned. You would not know what time you should end because you're still at home. Probably you would be overworking or underworking. Procrastination, since you are in your comfort area, your comfort zone, you may be just, siguro mamaya ko na lang gagawin. I'll just finish that later. Communication difficulties, no? So if you're used to, just picking up your phone, calling this department, oh, how are you? Oh, ganyan. Oh, sige, mamaya mag-lunch tayo. By the way, ito pala kailangan ng can you help me with this, no? So communication difficulties will not be that direct na. You have to go a lot of ways to communicate with each other. Can cause employee isolation, no? Pag ikaw yung laging nasa work from home, ikaw yung laging nakakalimutan nilang i-message, no? If there's something that come up, no? Meron bagong project, no? Reduce employee benefits because of the hazards, because nas malayo ka na, wala ka na sa working hazards. Some benefits may be excluded, no? And you have to understand that these things are actually part of your work economics, no? Your companies would have to look at reducing the cost of for manpower cost, no? Para they can put it in a different budget, maybe for reward system, no? And then possible lack of career progression. Sabi nga nila, siguro kung out of the two person na nagtatrabaho, yung isa sa work from home at yung isa sinatsaga niya during pandemic, siya yung pumapasok. I think pag sinabing kailangan i-promote yung isa, ipopromote natin ba yung nag-work from home? Siyempre yung the one that pitches in and arrives on site, no? So risk of being sidelined, I also mentioned earlier, pwedeng kayo yung nakalimutan, no? So according to Forbes, now the question is, no, working from home or not working from home would be depending on you, no? Would depend on your industry if that's possible in your industry. If you're a company, kung sabihin natin that's possible po sa industry namin, meron pong work from home, then good. If the company is giving you good options, giving you good packages with work from home, then take it, no? Working from home would also be dependent on not just industry but on the company in itself. I have to research on the company you're applying. According to Forbes, no, the 5 industries experiencing double-digit growth for the next decade. No? So kung gusto niyo po malaman if you're in the right industry or if your industry has a good potential, so this is just one of the 5 industries according to Forbes, or if you want to invest. No? So personal services like wedding planners, pet care, house cleaning, so more on providing convenience to your customers. This is one of the industries. Second would be travel. Although travel or accommodation or leisure tourism, most industries had to bounce back. So you've heard of the travel revenge, no? Yung sabi nila na dahil na-deprive daw Filipinos of travel or even anyone in the pandemic of travel. They tend to like book right now a lot of travel plans, no? So to compensate for the loss of time of traveling. So airlines, hotels, and tours are actually rehiring right now, no? And travel opportunities have increased with the opening of a lot of economies. Information technology like programmers, analysts, and cybersecurity, lalo na po yung mga data privacy, no? Things like that, analysts, when you talk about big data, no? So these are in demand even before pandemic, no? Sa lahat po ng IT, no? Have even before pandemic, alam niyo naman po the part of the development, no, in this industrial age would be more on digitalization, would be about computers, technology, data, no? Napakalaking bagay po ng data. Ano po yung tawag nating data, no? I'll be mentioning that later when we talk about marketing data. And of course, part of healthcare is part of top 5. No? Kasi hindi naman po, kahit ano pong mangyari, pandemic man o hindi, a lot of people would be requiring healthcare. You know? We will always require hospitals, so when you get sick. And lastly, according to Forbes, that will be construction. If I might share to you, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, sa US po ito na data for 2020 to 2023 projected po in 30 years starting from 2020 that the pandemic started. These are the top jobs, no, that are not just increasing in opportunities but also have high salaries. No? And the high salaries I'm emphasizing right now, you can see there's medical and healthcare services managers. No? Healthcare has been one of the most stable industry. Kahit po kasabi ko nga, kahit yung may ibang industries have closed, even pandemic healthcare is still number 1 in existing kasi someone would always need this. And much in that industry, high paying would be the managers or leaders in that industry. Actually, leadership in a lot of industries would always be a high paying job. What else? General operational managers, so leaders and managers, because they drive the company, they drive success, no? They make energetic teams, no? To make sure that you're engaged, the whole employees. So even, of course, registered nurses, if you're an RN, you never lack the job opportunity because locally and abroad, you'd always have that job opportunity. And as I mentioned, analysts and marketing. No? Analysts kasi po, for companies to grow, you'd have to know the data. No? You have to know ano ba yung trend ngayon sa mga Filipinos, ano yung trend sa Southeast Asia, anong trend sa other countries. No? For me to grow my company, ano yung gusto nila, ano yung profile nila, ano yung lalaki ba, babae ba, ano po bang age bracket. No? All those data are available and can be generated by analysts. And that are the potential for companies to grow their firms. So if they have that, information ready. So like this, no, they have analysts, financial managers that would help in, of course, increasing the company productivity. Nurse practitioners, at what we have in the US, nurse practitioners are learned and experienced, skilled nurses, no, have had masters pa yan, no, even have a lot of clinical work. And they can act as doctors, so they can also prescribe. They can have clinics. And of course, teachers, we never, of course, ran out the need for some educators that would eventually be mentoring the next population. So locally naman, let's talk locally according to the Philippine News Agency. Jobs recovery in terms of post-pandemic, no? In 2021, daw it mentioned here the top specialization hired by companies were in customer service, information technology, finance, and clerical administrative support, which I mentioned sa inyo. Some of these, lalo na yung customer service and face-to-face, may have been badly hit during the pandemic, but some of them really need to reopen and regain. They really need to bounce back. So they are hiring more and more applicants. No? However, the priorities that have been filled in terms of vacancies but still have vacancies are healthcare, or medical support, marketing or business development to make sure that the companies are still surviving for them to hire in the first place. General and bank, these are highly skilled and priority kasi pag ito pa ang unang bumagsak at hindi na prioritize, the rest cannot follow. No? So it says here that employers are offering significant compensation increase according to Harvard Business Review. This was an article done in the 2021 that mentioned during the pandemic, there's a good compensation and attraction to retain talent in today's market. No? So I just want to tell you guys, a lot of you will be applying, a lot of you already employed would like to switch jobs. No? And the labor market in the Philippines, likewise around the world, is so stringent. No? It's so tough to get that perfect job. No? And there's no such thing as a perfect job. Remember, you always have to compromise. Hindi po lahat ng, ito kasi gusto ko, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10. Hindi po lahat yan existing in a company. There are priorities that you have to see first. No? Ito ba ay something that I am interested and want to grow in? No? Do they offer what is my objective? No? They have aligned my capabilities. No? Well, talking about healthcare, no, kasi I'm working in healthcare, just to give you an overview, no, these are new age healthcare opportunities. So even in other industries, the service industry or tourism, experience of the customer is number one right now. No, it's not just if they're satisfied. No? If you're a customer yourself, you've experienced being a patient, you've experienced being a passenger in an airline, being a guest in a hotel. You know that experience. No? You log that. No? You do videos. No? You share that with your friends. No? So there are practitioners who quantify to make sure that your experience is really top notch, and you'll choose that company again or that brand again versus other companies when you want to stay again in their hotel or you avail of their services. Next is quality and safety officer or analyst to make sure that your company is running at high quality. You have to measure the things that you need to grow in to be successful. In the hospital, you have educators, not just nurse educators, those that teach the new breed of workers, no? To make sure that even there are new and younger generations, they're still of excellent quality when they provide care. So as I mentioned, advanced practitioners and nurse practitioners are those that are we have in the US. No? I think they're paid almost double when it comes to nursing because they can even act as doctors. Managers in terms of operations and in clinical for healthcare, no, these are have been in demand even before the pandemic, and these are new age positions, not your conventional, but these are also high paying. Health informatics, telemedicine, and health encoding are technology driven. So these are opportunities for you, and some of them are actually distant work arrangement. No? And in terms of distant work and opportunities also in healthcare in terms of the pandemic, now there are fixed term nurses. If you are a nurse and you do not want to, of course, want to be, have a hybrid flexible time, you can be a fixed term. There's only specific time period for you to practice in a week, and then you get a lot of days off. No? But these are mostly for special areas, and you have to be an expert in the field already. There have been vaccination operations since we're vaccinating a lot of people nowadays. And even for vaccine production in pharmaceuticals, these are things that are driven by pandemic. But of course, in the long run, no, it's just about the priorities. No, are you looking at prioritizing your work-life balance? Are you prioritizing and investing in the future when you become more valuable than what you can be getting right now? No? You can be getting a good amount of salary for certain positions that of course in the long run you have to think na meron future ba dito sa sige ando na ako malaki yung salary dito, but is this position gonna give you a good professional or career development in the long run? How am I gonna see myself after 5 years? No, will I be in the same position? Will my salary still be the same? Pag ang salary na times 5 na, ito lang po yung credentials ko. Ganito pa rin kalaking salary ko when yung iba pala nanhakbangan ako, no? So at the core of it, no, you have to prioritize. Right now, would I prioritize financial? Or right now, I would prioritize growing muna, no? So in the hospital, specifically in Makati Med, these are the careers, of course, by core. We'll have physicians, nurses, no, pharmacists, therapists, technologists, no, and a lot of team leaders. And this is actually, of course, the jobs 180 side for you, of course, to apply in our firm, no? And I encourage for those who wanted to start a career in healthcare. So before I end with my last two slides, so these are just my tips, no, for your career checklist for 2022. So reflect on your priorities, as I mentioned. So meaning, as I clarified, are you right now really in need of financial, no? There are a lot and lesser benefit, pero ito yung pro niya, no? You have to research your company when you'll be applying. But you have to reflect your priorities. You want a higher paying job, but probably in the future, there's lesser development. Or would you take something na pag nag-invest ako ng time dito at well, not that, siguro, competitive of price, ano kaya yung turnout nito? Baka meron naman siya in the future na advantage. Na eventually, I'll be reaping a lot more if I get more development. Second, I want to tell you is to learn and develop forever, no? Sabi nga kanina ni Sir Kim, no? Nangyayaring bago, merong development, may bagong sakuna, may bagong virus right now, di ba? Merong monkeypox, no? Probably not adapting, no? Sabi nga, ikaw yung mapupunta sa theory of evolution ni Charles Darwin, hindi ka nakapag-adapt kasi you did not develop, you did not learn. And I'm just gonna give you an example, no? When you have an entry-level position or entry-level quality because you are learned, you're a graduate of certain degree, no? At sometimes, some of those 5 have to be promoted. Ang question is, who among those 5 would that company promote to have a bigger role in the company, no? Have a chance to be a supervisor, have pwedeng siguro may pa-coach pa yan, no? Sabi higher pay. But from out of the 5, would you say that you will be the first pick? If you did not find a way for you to develop yourself. Kung lahat kayo pare-pareho kayo ng potential, no? Mas mahihirapan yung company. But if you are the one na merong kasi po nag-aral po ako actually kahit soft skill, marunong po akong mag-Korean. Kasi po mahilig ako sa K-drama, so nag-aral ako ng Korean. So pag may customer tayong Korean, ako yung unang yung tawag. And that's an edge for you, no? Marunong po ako sa programming kasi I took a certificate, no? If you are that person who always finds a way for you to learn, to grow, to explore, to develop yourself, to read people, then you'll be. However, if you're not that person, you'll wait for that time. So forever, that you'll be that qualified person who have that certain low what do you call this requirement, no? amongst those that come in that they are more qualified. So you always learn and develop. Sabi ko nga sa mga umaalis, when some of the nurses no, they go abroad and they say goodbye, they thank us no, for the training. I always tell them, wherever you go, you always strive to be better than when you are. Pag ikaw pumasok ka na staff, dapat i-aim mo maging next team leader, maging supervisor. You look for studies. Kung may libre silang pa-masters, you go that, you do that. Para your family will be proud of you, be proud of it's one of the 21st century skills and sa inyo ng ganyan, meron ako product. No? It's collaborations, partnership. If you know a lot of people you partner with, you can help each other. No? That's one of the 21st century requirement is you collaborate. Fourth is to start ready but aim higher. No? Start steady. I mean, start now. That's a good example. Time na lang. I've always mentioned this once I encourage ko na mag higher education. No? Alam mo, babalik pa rin tayo sa rin yung time. Mas isip ko sana na-take na lang ako natapos ko na sana yung dalawang course. So you have to steady, sure that you get all the best of other people, the best of you. Number 5, the creative. Lagi na isip natin, meron idea, baka na kung may edad na you don't. You have to be curious. No? I don't feel very inept right now in terms of their age, no? Them being adaptive. No? And guess what? So sa numbers circle, clock. Overlap of that is your professor. It's that something magaling kang mag-draw.
Hi, Sir Daryl. I'm sorry we can't understand you. Sir?
No, and I believe you'll be successful
You're
because
breaking up.
the only reason why you won't be successful if you do not start now. And you give up when you fail because failure is just a stepping stone to success. So these are my references. And on behalf of my team in Makati, I wish you all thank you and God bless. Be safe. Meron pa po tayong pandemic.
Ayan, thank you for that, sir. The last 5 minutes, sir, we couldn't hear you properly because it was breaking up. Pero okay na po rin.
Oh, sorry.
Ayan. Yung last 5 minutes lang, sir, pero I think natapos naman na po natin. Ayan. So to our audience, we are opening the floor for for questions. So, sir, am I clear to you? Like, can you hear me po
Yeah, right now.
properly?
Yes, thank you, Shari.
Okay. Sir, I'll go first. So this is my question. Sir, I also asked this question to the speaker earlier. So may we ask what kung ano po yung usual apprehensions of newbies entering the healthcare industry? And could you please clarify some of them? Apprehensions, misconceptions, ganyan po.
Okay. A lot of the newbies right now, since di ba nagkaroon tayo ng pandemic, no, they are from Zoom University. You know yung Zoom University, no? So, kasi syempre, if you're technical, like healthcare, no, gusto mo meron kang on-the-job training. So before you become a professional, nakaharap ka na sa training mo ng actual na customer. No? Or dito na our part as patient. Pero a lot of them talagang sa Zoom kasi of course, we do not want them to get the infection. So I think that's one of the apprehension is getting confidence in terms of being actually immersed in the field, no? If you're working in a hospital or facing patients, no? Most of them are hesitant, no? Pag, how to face people if there are, what do you call this, irate, no? Alam ng mga pasyente. At yung sabi ko sa'yo, Shari, wala nang pumunta sa hospital ng nakangiti at lumalabas ng sinasabi namin, please come back again, no? This is a different environment. I think the only happy people here are those expecting a baby or those who have successfully had their operations, no? So, but for the rest who are sick, no, who are in pain, no, a lot of them would expect na napakasungit nila. Not yan, ang dami nilang demands, no? They can be unreasonable, but you could have that high level of patience if you're gonna work here. Because you have to think na they're undergoing their worst right now, no? And those are the things na pwedeng hesitant yung mga newbies, no? Kasi syempre, pag nagsigaw na yung isang patient and all, yun lang, wag mo lang kailangan siyang damdamin. Kasi I think this exists not just in healthcare, even sa lahat, no? Even in your call center, pag meron kang no? Meron isang tumawag na very much irate. But you don't have to take all these things personal because you have to understand them. But there's always a limit when they become below the belt. No? Just have to recognize that. But yun po yung mostly na hesitation aside from getting the disease. But right now, wala naman po na sa healthcare ang disease. I think it's around the world. Kahit saan pumunta ka sa beach, pumunta ka sa mall, no? Nandun naman na infection. And meron sa hospital, of course, you'll be protected because you'll have yung mga PPE, we provide them the PPE that's top of the line. Of course, we do not want them. Sila yung talagang priority namin to protect. So, but all of those things, we are doing our best kasi we have a program for them to transition. It's always not perfect. We always improve, no? And we've seen a lot of progress. We're seeing good. In fact, our residency program for them to transition has been awarded by Hospital Management Asia. And that's one of our flag bearers, no, for in terms of newbies. Kasi we really want them to transition and we really want to take care of them when they join the organization and become part of our family. So yun lang hesitation for newbies, no? Siguro ma-overwhelm, lalo na if they've not have any exposure kasi nga siguro Zoom lang. Pero we'll take care of them. Thank you for that question.
Thank you for that, sir. So I'm sure napanatag na rin po yung mga job seeker natin knowing that they will be further trained and the industry will bridge the gap kung saan man tingin nila nagkulang sila. So,
yes,
sir, may I ask another question? Is
Go
it
ahead.
true or would you say it's more challenging to hire after right now, like after 2020, or would it be like harder to hire before 2020? Like, is it harder to hire? Would you say it's more challenging?
I would say it was harder to hire during the surges, no? Compared mo right now. So I'm gonna give you three phases. Before pandemic, during the surges, and right now, hopefully mas lesser na yung mga community natin. Just mas marami opportunities na. The demand has always been there, Shari. Before pandemic, alam mo, there's a lot of need for nurses, not just in the Philippines, but abroad. No, there's millions and millions of nursing jobs, millions and millions of healthcare positions, not just nursing. Kasi Globally, if you must know, if you do not know, malaki po yung population ng aging. Alam ko, a lot of us are millennials here and Gen Zs, no? But we have to take care of the baby boomers, no? At sila po yung malaking population that we need to take. And the lot of them is disproportionate sa availability ng healthcare workers. Naka-aggravate pa nung nagkaroon ng pandemic. So mas lalong kumonti yung magalag. So alam niyo talaga nag-burn out. So the demand is increasing. However, the supply of healthcare providers is not. No? So it was hard before. Probably no. Meron namang supply, but it's still not enough. No, that was understandable. It was more hard. It was harder actually, grammatically speaking, nung pandemic kasi talagang people were afraid to be in healthcare. Number one. Second, there were no board exam then that they had a pause, no? Understandable, board exam ka after that, yung mga takers ng positive siguro. So that's why they put a pause on it, no? Meron tayong K-12 na wave. So talaga yung supply was lesser and there was a higher demand because maraming COVID na kailangan alagaan. It's a very, very tough time and we really respected all the workers and frontliners who stick with us. And here comes yung mga workers namin that from sa field, no? Kung sino man po yung graduate ngayon sa healthcare or even sa mga frontline if you're not from healthcare. The industries are so much waiting for you, no? Aside from they're gonna give you a good offer, of course you have to work with the companies then. Kasi it takes two to tango, no? So you give in the contribution, the company takes care of you because we need to be productive. We're not serving just ourselves. We're serving the community. We're serving the people. We're serving the Filipino. We're serving the world, the country, no? Sila po yung nagbe-benefit, hindi lang tayong worker at yung employer, no? So right now, mas marami na kaming supply, although ang opportunities, of course, are different, no? O kung nag-open man ngayon at nagsabi, marami ng nurses, no? Marami din naman nagsabing, kailangan namin ng nurse, hindi lang naman locally, pati internationally, kailangan din namin ng nurse din, no? However, syempre, with a technical industry like healthcare, and a lot of technical companies na kailangan hindi lang basta basic yung education mo, of course, you would require people to be the right people to apply, no? Ikaw ba, sabihin ko sa iyo, Shari, sige, I'll have someone take care of your family who is a newbie, no? In ganyan, and has not been even finished with ganito, di ba? We'd have to have that level of trust kasi ang pinag-usapan natin buhay, no? So, kailangan we make sure that well-groomed and well-trained yung mga tao natin. So, right now, mas sumirat, mas nakakaluwag compared mo ng surge. Pero it's still the same, no? We're hopeful for the next batches that they see na they have opportunities in healthcare and we are welcoming you kasi tandaan nyo pag wala pong naging healthcare, eventually pag tayo yung nagkailangan, hindi na pwedeng pagtinibagan na may signage sa tabi mo. Serve yourself. Pwede kayo po ang sa sarili mo. Hindi kailangan, we need to preserve that workforce that will take care of us and our family in the future.
Thank you for sharing your story, sir. So we really appreciate it, no? So to our audience, are you sure wala na kayong questions for Sir Daryl? So again, the link for their company is jobs180.com/Makati Medical Center. That's where you see all of their vacancies, all of their postings. And if you want to do your research now kung ano pang mga other line of businesses, kung pwede, hindi lang sa mga allied health or mga health practitioners natin, makikita niyo rin yung postings. So, pwede rin kayo mag-apply. So, Sir Daryl, on behalf of SDCA and also of my team, we thank you for joining us this morning and we hope we can invite you for future series.
Thank you, Shari. Thank you to Kim Chua, the Kim Chu nga sabi niya kanina, emphasized so well. So thank you for inviting me. It's my pleasure, of course, to grace your audience.
Thank
Bye.
you po, Sir.
Stay safe.
Have a great day, sir. Ayan. So thank you to our speakers who joined us this afternoon. So we really appreciate them, no, taking the time and sharing their expertise to everyone. So to our audience, don't leave just yet because we have an evaluation form. So we'll put it up and we'll also put it on the comment section. So there, please make sure to evaluate within the day. And please don't forget that this evaluation will be the basis of your attendance. Okay, so to everyone, we invite you to watch out for the next set of webinars that we are hosting for other universities. So the topics will be posted on our Facebook page, and the topics that will be, yung mga topics na na-discuss ay nasa Facebook page namin, and you're welcome to join any of those sessions. So with that, our session ends today. Ends. So thank you so much, and we hope to announce the next event. So wait lang kayo sa announcement ni Miss Maddie because there will be a next event coming up. So thank you so much, everyone. See you on the next event. Have a great day.
Do as if we sing, with joyful hearts we bring love, ambition, and vision that everyone knows on. Culture of excellence and goals to reach our dreams with unity and fervor. We cherish forevermore. Alma Mater, you guide us. Your words are true, that every one of us has to go forth. Teach us with your love and faith for us to be all and great. Serving communities with joy, pride, and zest. Facing every challenge with character and will. Our words is gratitude for our fortitude, gaining solid property, uplifting dignity. Alma Mater, you guide us. Your words are true, that every one of us has to go forth. Teach us with your love and faith for us to be all and great. For us to be whole and
Change. It happens when you least expect it, but also when you embrace it. At Accenture, we help the world's biggest brands thrive through change. Our people combine technology and creativity, expertise and experience, learning and collaboration, passion and purpose to make a difference for our clients, their customers, our company, and our communities. Behind every great change is a great human. Bring your skills, your curiosity, and your true self to your work every day. Let's do incredible things. Let's deliver on the promise of technology and human ingenuity.